Hello and welcome to build up to a friendly game as it's Dagenham and Redbridge against West Ham United. Lopetegui's second game in charge after the 2-2 draw on Monday. We've got the lineup on the screen at the minute. You're going to have to guess. You're going to have to guess as to what you think the formation is. I think there's a couple of possible variations. It could be 3 at the back and it could be 4 at the back, obviously. But then, depending on which you believe it would be, would then dictate what you think will happen further afield. I think Casey being in the team is the curveball. He's either right back or the third centre back, but then who plays right wing back? Possibly Kone, possibly Guilherme. It's all a guess at the minute. My hunch is it's 4 at the back, and Casey will just be playing as a right back for this one, and we'll see Orford and Potts in midfield. Ward-Prowse sort of the advanced of the 3, sort of in the number 10 like he was on Monday, and I think we'll see Kone on one of the wings. Take your pick which one. Guilherme on another one, and then Callum Marshall. I'll start for Callum Marshall up front today. Peter is right. The under-21s are playing Ebbsfleet. We've got Frankie, who I do podcasts with. Frankie is at that game, so during the week, Monday, Tuesday, we'll get a review from him in regards to how the under-21s got on this afternoon. The game is being live streamed. However, you have to pay for it. If you look in the description of the video, the link is there, which will take you through to the West Ham website. And within that article, there's 2 different links. It just depends on where you are as to which one you need. If you're in the UK, you will use the National League TV. And if you're outside the UK, you will use West Ham TV. Regardless of which one you use, though, there is a cost of £5 for this game. So technically, yes, it's been streamed. But you've got to pay for it. You've got to get your bank card out, unfortunately, and pay for it. Blank thinks it will make sense for Kane being on the left and Guilherme on the right. Agree. I think that's what will happen. Actually, I don't know. The clubs, the way the club's done the graphic of throws you a little bit, but I don't pay too much attention to that. But I think it would be Kane on the left, Guilherme on the right, Marshall up front, Ward-Prowse 10, Orford Potts midfield, and then the back 4 with Casey at right back. Hello, Barry. Nice to see you. Hello, Stephen. He said it's great to see Callum Marshall starting today. I agree. I was a bit worried because he only got 15 minutes on Monday, and I thought maybe there's an opportunity. Bear in mind, Ings is the only recognised striker in the squad at present until Antonio returns. I thought maybe there's an opportunity to give Marshall some more minutes. I was a bit disappointed for him. So I'm pleased to see him get, at least I would assume, 45 minutes under his belt today. And hopefully he can maybe take it. It's a £5, Danny. Chris says it's a bit tight, paying for a friendly. I don't mind because, and this is, maybe I'm being a bit naive here, but I believe the money, if you buy it through the national, I don't know what happens if you buy it through West Ham TV, and you don't have a choice. You're forced, depending on where you are right now, unless you have a VPN, but you're forced to buy it. But if you use the National League, I think that money goes to Dagenham and Redbridge, I think. So I do not mind giving Dagenham and Redbridge a £5 in order to be honest with you, if it was like the game's free, however, if you donate money, it goes to Dagenham and Redbridge, I'd pay probably a £5 donation in order to obtain the game, as long as the money goes to that club and not West Ham. West Ham don't need our £5. Well, they want the £5. David thought Ings would start after the free kick. I think Ings coming playing the second half. He'll also have Kudus on the pitch with him as well. And I think that's possibly a bit more important. I think it would be nice to see him have, because on Monday, Kudus played the first half and Ings played the second. I'd like to see him with the sort of stronger winger on the park and see what happens. And Peter is confirming them all the money goes to Dagenham regardless of where you watch it. Well, that's why, there you go. I don't mind paying when the money goes to that side of it. Peter is asking about under-21s playing Ebbsfleet. Yes. Sorry, not that one. There was another one. Here is Ricky. Ricky's comment. Sorry. Ricky said, Maidenhead on Wednesday. Is that the under-21s? Was the first team head up to the stage? It is the under-21s. And you would imagine that this is the Max Kilman deal. So when we were trying to buy Max Kilman from Wolves, they obviously owed Maidenhead 20% of the selling clause. They negotiated it down to 10%. However, it was believed that there was a couple of sweeteners thrown in there in order to persuade Maidenhead to give up that 10%. And one of those was that both clubs, Wolves and West Ham, would then play Maidenhead in a friendly this summer to help them raise money through gate receipts. So tomorrow, the first team squad tomorrow head out to America for the friendlies in Florida. And then on Wednesday, the under-21s take on Maidenhead on Wednesday night as well. Bill says the stream's playing up. I haven't even looked yet, to be honest with you. I've got a page. I'm all signed up, but I haven't even clicked on the stream. So I'm hoping it's all right. Look, if we can get... I thought the stream on Monday was all right, bar obviously the drinks break, and then we missed the first goal. Apart from that glitch, I thought the stream on Monday was okay. If we can get a decent signal in the mountains of Austria, I'm sure we can get one at Dagenham today. Ricky's asking who is captain. Oh, that's a good question. Usually they've got it on the graphics, haven't you? Usually the club put a little C next to someone. It's Zuma. Of course it is. Zuma's starting. So he's the captain this afternoon for the Hammers. Right, keep your comments coming into the live chat. It could be about anything. It could be about the transfer, the team today, what you're looking forward to. I guess the community question, but like a community question here at Hammers Chat where you all give the answer. Who are you looking to see a big performance from today? Which player in particular are you hoping turns up and just shows what they've got and says to Lopetegui, here, have a look at this. And for me, while you're all getting your answers in, I'm going to give my one, which some people might pick him. I don't think it'll be the majority pick. Mine would be Maxwell Cornet. And for the reasons I've already given with some players like Emerson, Ward-Prowse, I don't think they've got much to prove to Lopetegui today. I don't think they're almost guaranteed plenty of game time next season, I think. So I think the friendlies, it's the fringe players and the youngsters that need to step up a little bit and show the new head coach what they can do. And Cornet is that player for me. You know, we spent 17.5 million on him. And I don't like the phrase, like a new signing. Do you know when someone comes back from injury and it's like a new signing? I think it's applicable to Maxwell Cornet, though, because he still is like a new signing. We've not seen him yet. We're still waiting for him to get a consistent run of games. So I'm hoping that he turns up, because Monday I thought while he was out of position as a striker, I was a bit underwhelmed. I thought he was quite poor. So I'm hoping for a big performance from Cornet today. Just enough evidence to suggest he's maybe got a chance, an opportunity at a second chance at West Ham under Julian Lopetegui. Well, let's see what you're saying in regards to the player. Brian Flowers would like to see Callum Marshall have a good game. Curse would like to see Cornet and Marshall. Essex says Potts for him. Roger has also picked Cornet, so has David. All right, maybe Cornet will be the popular pick. John says Freddie Potts. Peter says the two youngsters in Freddie Potts and Callum Marshall. They need to impress. Stephen has said Casey as well as Cornet. And someone's bloody ringing me here. Hey, what bad timing is that? That can wait. I think it could be an important call. That's the problem. Phil says Potts, Guilherme, and Marshall. Jua says Earthy will hopefully get some time. I'm sure he'll get plenty of minutes today. Paul thinks Cornet needs to get his finger out. Nick would like to see Lewis Orford step up and have a really good game. Damien thinks Cornet could be or should be converted to left back. So obviously he needs to see a good performance from him. William says, good to see the young lads getting a start. It's pre-season. It's easy to give the young lads a start. I think majority of managers have done it. Majority of Moyes did it. Slaven Bilic did it. Pellegrini did it. They all give the youngsters opportunities in pre-season. It's nothing new. It is good and it is encouraging, but I think that's all it is. When the season kicks off, then what? Are they just going to get dropped back into the 21s, or is one or two of them going to remain on the fringes of the first team? And I'm hopeful that one or two will, and it'll only be one or two. They won't all be in the first team next season. I think that would be an unrealistic expectation, because how often does a youngster come through and make it in the first team? Once every several seasons. So if Earthy can do it this season, as well as Potts, maybe Casey as well, I think that would be a success. There's plenty of time for Ollie Scarles, who's, by the way, let me show you the bench, actually. The bench for West Ham today is on the screen at the minute. Ollie Scarles is on the bench. He's just back from injury. He missed the end of last season through injury. He wasn't quite ready for Monday. He is on the bench for West Ham today. So that's it. And of course, Andy Irving is on the bench as well. Stephen says, a great video I did on the homegrown rules. Some of the transfer strategy is making a little bit of sense to him. That was over on Patreon. I did a thing on Patreon during the week because one thing I found myself getting frustrated at in the last month, and this is new. I've been doing YouTube for 9, believe it or not, 9 years. Some of you lot have been watching pretty much since day one. People will always say, I remember when you had less than 1,000 subscribers. I think, bloody hell, you've been with us for a long time. We might hit 39 subscribers today, by the way. I can't see the live counter at the minute, but if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do. We only need a handful. It's just be nice to hit it today. And drop a like on the video as well. By clicking thumbs up, helps us out. But anyway, one thing that's frustrated me in the last month, and this is new, is people saying things that are not correct, but they're portraying it as factual. And it's happening with PSR at the minute. People are getting cash flow and PSR. They're getting them muddled up, and they're making on that PSR and cash flow are the same thing. It's completely different. And I've done my best to learn about PSR in the last month or two. I feel like I've got a good grasp of it. I've been pestering someone far smarter than me who's very clued up on finances of football. Not West Ham specific, just in general. He appears on Sky Sports, the BBC. He's been on Hammer's Chat a couple of times. If I said to you, name someone that's clued up on football finances, this guy might come to your mind. I've been pestering him about PSR. I've been sending over examples, saying, have I got this right? And he's been replying, yes, that's right. I'm like, okay, what about this one? Have I got this right? He's like, yes, you've got this. I'm learning. But one of the things that people have been saying recently that's frustrating me a little bit has been you need 8 homegrown players. And I'm seeing it more and more. And I don't mind people getting it wrong. I'll reply to them on YouTube. So someone will say, oh, you need 8 homegrown players, blah, blah, and I'll reply saying, actually, you don't. And this is why. But in a couple of videos time, the same person will say the same thing again. You need 8, blah, blah, blah. I've told you before, you don't. Like, you're missing them, whatever. It gets to the point, I think, well, this is now becoming misinformation. At first, it was an innocent mistake. You just didn't know, which is fine. It's not an issue. But after 3 or 4 comments, it's becoming misinformation, and other people are reading it and believing it. And I'm just seeing it get spread. You don't need 8 homegrown players. So I did a video on Patreon saying, you don't need 8 homegrown players. Here's why. And I explained it. Anyway, thank you to those that tuned in on it. There is no way it's not being televised anywhere. Soma, Empress, you might be able to watch it for free somewhere. I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know where to tell you to go. You'll have to find it yourself, unfortunately. Dean says he's been here since the start. Mount that Hammer's Chat has grown has been superb. You don't live far from me, Dean. I discovered the other day, unintentionally, I wasn't stalking you. I seen a comment you made in regards to the location that you live. You're about 20 minutes on the train from me. So I might message you in the next couple of weeks. See if you fancy a beer or something. I'll come down and annoy you. Empress, can you please stop asking where you can watch the game for free? Because we don't know. We will put you in jail. Put you in YouTube jail. Mark says it's not good of the club to charge a £5 for pre-season friendly. The money does go to Dagenham, so I do think it goes to Dagenham. Josh wants to see the lineup. Yeah, you go, Josh. Lineup's on your screen now. And while you're all doing that, ART is hoping to see Potts, Kane, Casey, Marshall have a good game today. Well, I assume that's what he's replying to. Brian says this time next week, he will be arriving in Florida to watch his first ever live West Ham game. He's been waiting for 15 years. That's fantastic. I absolutely love that. It can be a bit, frustrating when your club goes that far abroad because to some extent we can't go. But I'll be honest with you, it's in Dagenham today. It's not that far. It's accessible for me. I've got no interest in going to friendlies. I'm saving my money for the competitive fixtures. So actually, when we go to Australia, when we go to America, I think it's wonderful because the fans out there that can't get to the United Kingdom can go get to see their team play. And they might never get that chance to do it again. I think it's a wonderful thing when we go out far and wide and other people can go see it. Anyway, it's time to get in. Who will be co-host for the next 10 minutes, and he will be the host of the watch along. Is Nick. Nick, how is oneself?
Yeah, not bad. Thank you. Just watching all of the bubbling excitement in the chat, and yeah, quite pleased with the starting lineup because you get a nice mix there. Obviously, yeah, some of those fringe players, a nice kind of young midfield pairing. So it will be interesting again, based on what we saw in the game on Monday. What is this like? Is it also going to be just very, very friendly, with no one wanting to get injured, which is good? And yeah, what's going to happen? Are they going to be concentrating on, instructions, and more likely going to be trying to show the head coach, I said manager on Monday, and I was blamed for that, the head coach, that they've listened to him? And that's going to be a big part of it if you're a player on the pitch, rather than being like, oh, great, I'm just going to go gung-ho.
Yeah, I think Lewis Orford was the best player for me on Monday. And I'm pleased that he's back in. There was a little bit of me hoping to see him mix it up a little bit in the middle, because Potts and Orford ain't going to, maybe bar the Carabao Cup, they're never going to play next to each other in the next year or so at West Ham in midfield. So I was maybe hoping to see Orford next to Ward-Prowse or Potts next to Ward-Prowse, just to make it a bit more realistic as to what they can expect playing next to someone a bit more senior. However, I thought they both played well on Monday, but Orford in particular I thought was really, really good. And part of me was frustrated watching it, thinking we need to get this guy's contract situation sorted ASAP, and we still do, but I'm not going to let that overshadow what was a good performance from him. Is there anyone in particular from the starting 11 that you're looking to see a big performance from?
Same as everyone, really. I mean, you want to see what Cornet's going to do, because obviously he kind of had that chance, like around January, we were a bit thin, and then he came in against Sheffield United away and kind of did well. But then under Moyes, he's just in that weird situation. He's on the pitch knowing that it doesn't matter how well he was doing at that point, he's definitely going to be either, on the bench or just completely not get any game time. So when you're that player in that position, it just must be really, really weird and just disheartening that even if you do something good, you're like, oh, good. Then you're like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm not going to play anyway. So you want to see Cornet, and then just the Orford Potts kind of dynamic duo. Do they take things by scruffs of its neck, or what do they do?
Damien is looking for a big performance from James Ward-Prowse. Wants him to show he's a senior man in midfield. I think it depends on where he's deployed, though, Damien, because on Monday he was I think it's fair to say he was on number 10 in that attacking midfield position. He was supporting Cornet in the press, and I just think it's a difficult role for him because it's not his natural position. I think he sticks out like a sore thumb a little bit because George Earthy came on, and I thought Earthy offered more in the way of creativity in that same position, whereas Ward-Prowse would obviously do a lot better, slightly deeper. Maybe that's why Damien earlier on, before we went live, suggested it was maybe a back three today, and maybe that would see us have a midfield three of Orford, Potts and Ward-Prowse, and then a front pairing of Cornet and Marshall. It would be Marshall and Cornet, or Guilherme and Marshall with Cornet on the right. So we'll have to wait and see. I just want to nip one thing in the bud here, because David said, where is... Well, it's Charlie. Charlie's got a cutout of Danny DeVito, and he said, "You're still friends. We're more than still friends. Don't worry. There's been no falling out or fight or anything like that. Myself and Charlie are still really good friends. But Charlie is finished with Hammers Chat. He's got a new job. This is fantastic news. Sad news for Hammers Chat. Big sad face. But it's really good news because Charlie's landed essentially a dream job. It's a dream job for Charlie. It's a fantastic opportunity for him. And as a friend, I'm really proud of him because I've known him for 9 years now, since the start of Hammers Chat on YouTube. Known him for 9 years. I've seen him essentially go from being a young adult, an old boy, into a man today, and he's gone and got his dream opportunity. We're still friends. He'll hopefully be a guest from time to time. But there's one more video coming on Hammers Chat, just to say thank you and goodbye to Bevel. But I need I'm waiting on the gift. I messaged him. It's getting posted yesterday. It was getting posted yesterday, so hopefully it'll be here Monday, Tuesday. Then I need to post it to someone. Then it's coming back to me. Then I need to post it to someone else. Then it's coming back to me again. It's a bit of a task, but I think it'll be worth it. It's like a top prize for him. Nick, I pulled out the bag for this one. It's 10 out of 10. Charlie's going to love it. I know he is. Damien thinks Ward-Prowse's best performance last season was against Leverkusen as number 10 and against Spurs. The only position I genuinely think he gives us top performances. Whilst I agree, do you agree with that, Damien? Nick, I'll let you go first, actually. Do you agree with what Damien's saying?
I mean, that game was a bit of a weird one anyway. I mean, for me, just the whole Ward-Prowse mystery, not mystery, but putting it a bit strongly, but just when he started well and then just got progressively worse as the season went on, and then even so much that obviously he started on the bench for a couple of games from that February onwards period. And he did kind of come back, partially because Alvarez had got all those yellow cards. But yeah, it's the same kind of thing, what people are talking about, which sounds a bit like dream world, metaphor stuff, that the players are let loose and the handbrakes off and the shackles, everything's basically stripped away from these players now, and they're now mentally and physically free, apparently, to charge forwards at every given opportunity. But with Ward-Prowse, again, the Moyes effect was a bit affecting him, and he's got the opportunity. If he wants to prove to everyone that he's he likes competition and he's up for it, the West Ham midfield is basically up for grabs this season. If you really want to go for it, you're going to get the game time. So when you get the game time, you've got to prove it.
Yeah, that's tickled me, actually. You do look at. Have you been told you look a bit like Chris Martin before?
Not once. I get Bruce Willis because of the high forehead. It's not receding. It's just high. It doesn't move.
Leave out the last bit, but gives a hippie ki.
No, because he's American, and I don't really want to go there. I mean, if you've got
British,
I mean, I'll sing yippee ki mother. No, maybe I'll sing a Coldplay song if we get really bored. And I think it was Dean. Sorry if I'm wrong, but on the last game, who came up with the Emerson song. So if we get an assist from Emerson, I might bang that one out as well. Yeah,
you do look a bit like Chris Martin. I didn't really see it until Usual Suspects suggested it, but you do look a bit like Chris Martin, actually. In regards to Ward-Prowse, as Damien was saying, I think I don't disagree. Funny enough, I think his best performances were, off the top of my head, I think it was Chelsea at the very start of the season, Brighton away maybe, and also Arsenal in the Cup at the London Stadium. But even when you put them combined with Damien's picks, which was Leverkusen and Spurs, they're all games in which West Ham were counter-attacking. We were sitting back in a deep block, counter-attacking. So James Ward-Prowse's sort of main role was to press and be quite aggressive on the front foot, but it wasn't necessarily what he could create from open play and competing against a low block team. And I think that sums it up to some extent what was the good thing of Ward-Prowse being in that role, but also the bad thing of Ward-Prowse being in that role. And I think with Lopetegui, I'm expecting Ward-Prowse. I think he will do well under Lopetegui, Ward-Prowse. And it was when we did the video a month ago, maybe, sort of myself and Gonzo picked 3 players each we think would perform well under Lopetegui that would benefit from him as head coach. And Ward-Prowse was one of mine. And a lot of disagreements, which is fine, it's opinions, but I stand by it. But in the central midfield role, not as a number 10, I think as a central midfielder, because he's good at keeping the ball. He's not particularly exciting, but I think with the central midfielders, I think Lopetegui will just be looking for somebody to take it off the back and give it to the more offensive players. I think Ward-Prowse can do that. All right, let's see what you're all saying in the live chat. Kickoff is 5 minutes away, so if you do want to pay for the game, I'm not encouraging you to pay for it or not. It's up to you. You can, if you want to get it, go get it. You don't want to get it, don't go get it. I've just put a link in there, so it's easy for you to find. So the game is watchable. Links in description. It will say what stream information, and there's a link. Just click it. all the information is on there. You do have to pay £5. Ben, you need to pay £5 for the pass for the game in order to get it. Well, it's $4.99, but you've got to pay a £5 for the game. Without that £5, you ain't getting it. You ain't getting access to it. However, Nick will be providing commentary from the game throughout and interacting with you all in the live chat. So if you don't pay for it and you want to know what's going on, just ask Nick and he can tell you. Jack wants to see Marshall and Guilherme to perform well today. That's who he's looking for. Reese is predicting a 4-1 West Ham. We ain't going to take match predictions for a friendly. We do it in the Premier League. We'll obviously ask for everyone's prediction, but in a friendly, I'm not that bothered. It'd be nice to win, but I'm not really that arse, to be honest with you. Touch Potential says, I'm hoping that Lopetegui grabs us a young Spanish player to represent his style of play and cover for Lucas Paqueta. Ward-Prowse does not cut it. I wouldn't be against it. Anyway. GP doesn't think you look like Chris Martin. You're all right. Actually, he thought we were talking about me. Of course he's talking. Why would he be talking? I don't look like Chris Martin. Of course I don't look like Chris Martin. You can tell which one of us was meant to look like Chris Martin out of the two of us. Thomas said it's weird because a few days ago the game was advertised on West Ham's YouTube channel. It's not up at the moment. I haven't seen it advertised on their YouTube channel, to be honest with you, Thomas. I couldn't comment. I believe you. I'm not saying you're lying. I just can't give you clarification on what you're looking for. I just remember the club putting up something during the week. There's a stream available. It'll cost a £5. So I just went, yeah, all right, that'll do. Hammer 99 saying you look like Bruce Willis. And Brian reckons I look like Danny Dyer. Listen, this is what got us in trouble in Newcastle, and this is why I got called. Nick, you might not know, you won't know this, Nick. When we were in Newcastle, it was last summer. It was 3 or 4 days after we won the Conference League. We won the Conference League on the Wednesday. On the Friday, I was in Newcastle for a Sam Fender concert. I'm sticking to it. I like Sam Fender. I'll take the stick if people don't like him. So we were up in St. James's Park for Sam Fender. We went out after it, and some woman told I was there with Bez, and some women said that I looked like Danny Dyer. So I was like, no, I do not. So he was like, I'm not sure he does. So anyway, there was this bloke. We were in the toilets. I don't know why. He must have. I don't know how I came around. I can't recall why this came up. But Bez had said to him, "Does he look like?" Someone just said he looks like Danny Dyer. Does he look like Danny Dyer? And the bloke just looks at me while I'm pissing. He's pissing as well. Just looks at me and goes, "Nah, it looks like a fat Aaron Creswell." So that's why I've been. That's why I'm now just fat Aaron Creswell. But I'm all right with it. He's a gorgeous man.
Could be worse. I mean, yeah. I've got a couple of lookalikes for you brewing in my head, but they're not complimentary. So I don't really want to just start the season with that. Maybe fat for Aaron Creswell.
Fat Aaron Creswell, I'm all right with that one. I came to terms pretty quick. At first, we just laughed, but then I thought about it. I thought, no, I'm all right with that, actually. He's a good-looking chap. It could be worse. Could have got
players on the pitch.
I should get going. I need to get going. Right, well, Nick, I'm going to hand it over to you. Maybe back to join you later on. But if I have a technical problem, stick around. I will, but you'll be fine.
All is well, but I'm not in England at the moment, so I have many devices happening.
You'll be fine.
If I freeze, come back.
I'm not going far. I've got to pop downstairs, and then I'll be back at my computer in the green screen room, listening to you while I'm watching the game. But people in the live chat, be kind to Nick. Get involved in the live chat. Create some discussion. Talk about the game as it's going on and performances. It's Nick's second ever watch along. It's his first show on his own. So be nice to him. Yeah. Look after him. And Nick, I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. So I mean, be nice or don't. If you're not nice, that's probably a bit more interesting because that will give us a lot more to talk about. And as mentioned, I'm very technologically balanced at the moment. I'm not in England at the moment. I'm kind of on holiday or working holiday, or I don't know what it is. But it means that I have many different devices set up and internet connections, VPNs on all of the different devices. So, if I freeze, sorry. And I don't know how many people have paid or found a stream to watch, but obviously, I've got one up here that's working at the moment from the club website. So, yeah, we're going to get a lot of many people will ask this for the next hour at least. How can I watch the game? Where can I watch the game? Just these kind of questions. In the description, there's a link to a way that you can pay $4.99. Apparently, wherever you are in the world. And here we go. Someone says, yeah, paying to watch the game. You know, what can I say? So someone did say that there in the chat somewhere down there, but I've lost it now, that there might be a stream if you just Google it. Can't really comment on such things, but yeah, $4.99 from the club website. There we go. And yeah, thanks. So we've got someone used to live in China, now Japan. Bit of an upgrade, you might say. If you've lived around the world or you are watching this from around the world, please let me know. Not quite sure. I missed what this referred to. We'll have to presume it was Julian Dix at that point. This is nice. I don't know what that means. I don't know why that is, but I like it. Okay. Game's kicked off. So I'll try and focus on the game for a bit and tell you what's happening there. It looks like we started in the classic back four. You'll see from the lineup that would make sense. And then you're going to have Orford on the ball quite comfortably, I think. Picture's a bit small, so I want to just triple check I'm calling out the right players, or I'm going to look a bit like a twat. If not, let's have a look. Oh, had it there. So, yeah, a bit of a West Ham moment there. We were passing around in midfield, and then a very bad pass went back. Yeah, it was Orford that cleared it up by smashing it out of play. So Dagenham Redbridge have got a throw in now. And at this point, all the players are in our half. So people have pushed up. As soon as Dagenham Redbridge get the ball, their keepers got the ball now. So I just want to see what happens when they're in possession. Are we going to push? Are we going to sit back? And we're only on the first couple of minutes now. But in these first 5 minutes, what I want to see is what happens when each team has possession. At the moment, Dagenham Redbridge actually look quite keen to get the ball forward as soon as they've got it. I mean, right now they've quickly switched it around the back. So they were on the left wing. And then with their position, they wanted to quickly switch it and get it back up the right wing. And now they're attacking a lot. So I'm obviously not going to do a pass-by-pass commentary because that wouldn't work. But judging what's happening in the first few minutes, it's actually a bit of a pacey affair, much different than Monday's Ferencváros game. So again, only in the second minute. But yeah, like I say, just trying to focus on the game for the first 5 minutes and seeing what's happened. Our shape is quite standard of the modern game, really. Flat back four, Orford deep, and then Potts and Ward-Prowse interchanging, and then obviously the two wingers and the one up top. So it's pretty standard formation so far. And the game, yeah, it's happening at some pace. As soon as Dagenham Redbridge have the ball, they really want to push up with it. Our players, there's actually quite a lot of pressing going on. First few minutes in, they've had to pass their ball back to the keeper. He's made a bad pass here, so we've got possession of that on the 18-yard line. So we are pressing a lot. Looks like shot coming in, or almost. It was a decent shot. I think that was Orford. Picture's not the best. But yeah, so as soon as they got the ball, we are pressing. And again, just because we're in pre-season and everything has the context of last season, we're pressing a lot more as a unit than we did under Moyes. just to use like one passage of play as an example of who hasn't been signed. Is he Lopo? Is he Loppy? We've got just looking at the comments here, which I'm pretty sure was sarcastic. Loppy chops. We could all just go with that. So yeah, Lopo, Loppy, J-Lo, of course. I don't really know what the consensus is. I'm trying to get rid of that comment now. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to stay very optimistic about the new season, but Zuma's knees. I don't really know what Zuma's knees are doing on a football pitch. Just we've got to sign another defender or train up Dinos to not keep just passing it back to their attackers. Or, I mean, I don't even want to mention Calvin Phillips. I don't want to say the name Calvin Phillips. So in the game, a lot of pressing. It's a reasonably pacey affair so far. Possession, it's a scrappy game so far. Possession is not particularly with one team passing it. Oh, Dagenham got a chance. They were let through on goal because it's a scrappy game. No team's really keeping much possession, which is fine. And when we get the ball, I mean, we're moving it around fast. No one's really taking more than a couple of touches. Even then it goes back to, I think it was Orford. He looks so much like Potts, and their numbers are 61 and 62, I think, so it's quite hard to tell. But whenever it goes to anyone, even in that kind of, CDM position, they're not holding on to it and then passing back. There's actually quite a lot happening. That does mean sometimes that we're losing possession, which just happened there and they had a chance, but their striker just hit it straight at the keeper from about 18 yards. But whenever we get the ball, it's heads up and it's moving it along. Just like then, like Emerson has it, he gives it to Orford, Orford goes back, but then it comes straight back to him, straight back to the wing. So it's not really just being shuffled from side to side. I mean, if players want to get their fitness up, then this is definitely going to be a game to do it. Because like I say, it's pretty fast paced at the moment, even from the Dagenham side of things. They're not keeping hold of it. I mean, individually very much. They're trying to move it around as much as they can, which means, yeah, they just gave possession to us. So we're on the attack, right wing, waiting for the cross to come in. Decent shot, but got blocked. So you might say quite promising so far. Any streams in the description, but you have to pay $4.99. So sorry about that. And if you're wondering where Charlie is, apparently he's joined the cast of Game of Thrones. My name's Nick, so you've got me for this game and myself and another young man to go ahead in the season, but you'll see him later. Good question here. As soon as it shows, where on the pitch is he playing? At the moment, can't tell because he's not in view, but I will let you know.
I've just come to tell you, Nick, Guilherme is playing on the right.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I'll tell you. I'm telling whoever asked where he's playing. It's a 4-2-3-1. Casey right back. Orford Potts sitting, as Nick said. Guilherme on the right. Kudus on the left. I think he's looked quite sharp, actually, Nick. I think he's looked quite positive. Marshall up front looks a little bit small, doesn't he, next to sort of big Dagenham defenders. A couple of loose touches from Orford and Potts so far. 2 misplaced passes, that one each. The Independent League, it's I don't know if you get away with them ones, but given it's a friendly and against a lesser opposition, it's not the end of the world, and we got away with that a little bit. But Guilherme did just cut in from the right on his left foot and have a shot, which is well blocked by a defender, but it was a nice quick feet from him, which is encouraging. I'm looking to see some of that from him because there wasn't enough on Monday. He didn't give the opportunity really to do it, but when he was playing in Brazil, it was predominantly on the right-hand side. Now, a lot of people that watch South American football think he'll be better suited to the central position long-term, but while he was playing for over in Brazil, it was on that right. So his Monday was on the left. So, but into his, I guess you could call his natural position for this one, and it's made a little bit of a difference. But I think a few players look sharp out there, and a few look a little bit rusty, but it's expected and not really the end of the world. Well, there's Kearney, basically dispossessed, just got fouled. So free kick to West Ham, 9 minutes in. It's all right so far, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, it's much faster paced than I expected. I expected that this type of game, they would maybe, from both sides, they would kind of ease themselves into it, but it's been anything but. It's actually been tackles, a couple of fouls. And then, neither team is looking just to focus too much overly on, tactics and this kind of thing and just playing it safe. They're actually, both sides are attacking.
Yeah. Kilman's made a couple of really progressive passes from central areas so far. One into, I think it was Marshall, but he was easily dispossessed. But it was a nice ball from Kilman. And on a Saturday in the Premier League, that's Michael Antonio or Paqueta that's shielding that one against the opposition player, and they're likely to hold on to it. Marshall was just too small. It's not his fault. The body was in the right place. He did everything correct, except just be 1 foot taller and stronger. Nothing against him. But please so far. And Damien's just asked for the formation. What I'm going to do, Damien, is I'm going to try something. I'm going to jump out, Nick, and hand it back to you. But I'll be back in 5 minutes, and hopefully I can assist Damien with his request. Cyber Gonzo's not at the game; he's just watching it like the rest of us. Gonzo doesn't do watch-alongs. I don't usually either, but it's a friendly, so I don't mind on this one. And keeping Nick comfortable. And DC, we've said 101 times it's £5. We've not once said you don't have to pay. We've been quite clear that you have to pay for this game. I don't know what else you can want. Michael, links in description. You don't pay us or anything like that. It's all through. If you go onto the official website, links in description. But if you need to, just go to whufc.com. There's an article. It contains 2 links, and depending on where you are, it depends on which one you click on. You can go have a little gander. But Nick, give me 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Hopefully with something for Damien, and he can get more of an idea of what's going on the pitch.
Nice one. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. I mean, I expect Joe will be back with some visual support, but it's basically, like I say, it's a flat back 4, and then you've got Orford sitting as the CDM. You've got Potts and Ward-Prowse are basically in the middle, but Potts is a bit deeper. Ward-Prowse is a bit further up, and then you've got Marshall up top, Guilherme on the right, Cornet on the left. And what's happening in the game for those last few minutes, as we get up to about the 12th minute, we've actually got some possession here. We're knocking it around well. Like I say, each player, they're not dwelling on the ball. It's immediately heads up, like I keep saying. That's what's very noticeable as well about Orford is he's got really good positional sense. So when he receives it, he's receiving it pretty much always in space, which is not that easy in this game because Dagenham are actually pressing and making an effort as well. But even though they are making an effort and they're getting around and they're getting quite tight to players, you do notice that Orford has that knack of getting into the right space. He's not only doing it in our half or by the halfway line, just like a very deep CDM and just knock it around. He's actually pushing forward like 15, 20 yards ahead of the centre backs, receiving it in space, instantly head up, look around, release, which is really nice to see. We've got a corner now. Didn't come to much. And it's bowling around. So, there's not much, I mean, it isn't a competitive game, so I don't know why I put it into that context. But, it's a bit scrappy. On balance, we've got more possession. We're clearly, even with the lineup we have, clearly have just as much better players, stating the obvious, but even with the young ones. So I think it looks good, pretty promising. If you want to know things like, how's Cornet doing and Guilherme doing, because it's a fast-paced game, with scrappy elements, let's say, it's not really getting up to them. When it does actually go up to either winger, they're instantly, they've got a player on them. And I don't know whether, pitch size comes into play. It's not that small, but they've instantly got someone on them. So it's not really a time where they get the ball and then they've got a defender 5-10 yards away from them. They can run at them. That's not really happening these first 13, 14 minutes. So we're going to have to be a bit patient to see how they do. But they are all pressing as a unit as well, which is nice to see. We're not giving the opposition any time on the ball, even when it gets passed back to their keeper. We're all pushing up in one, which is quite nice. So, as we've got possession here, and we knock it around a bit, I don't know if anyone cares about our opponents, but I did look them up a bit, and it seems everything's going quite well for the Daggers. They've got new owners who are apparently willing to invest in the club. Their investment wing of the business that does it is called Club Underdog, I've been led to believe. And apparently they're very happy with their manager. They've been doing some brisk transfer. They've had about 10 players out, 9 players in, but apparently they've kept their core players, so they're happy with that. They did finish, quite far down the league last season. I read just a few points off the bottom, but they managed to stay in the league. So back to the game, because we're passing it around really well. Yes, opposition, context, friendly, and this and that. Oh, cross came in, didn't come to much. Shot, James Ward-Prowse, no, blocked. We're actually playing it well, playing it around well and nicely whenever we get the ball. I'm seeing nice, again, not just last year when players just look up and go, right, who am I going to pass to now? There always seems to be someone available. There always seems to be a nice, nice shape, nice release. Like there, ball goes out to Emerson. He comes back into Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse immediately comes back to Cornet. Cornet puts in a crap cross, but nonetheless, we're moving it around well.
Thanks, Nick. Right, I've got a little graphic for Damien. Sorry it took so long. I was clicking and watching at the same time, but this is how we're lined up at the minute. Nick can confirm. We've got Fabianski in goal, Emerson left back with Kilman and Zuma centre back. Kilman on his natural left side of the pairing, and Casey's out of position at right back, but he's getting forward quite well, actually, Casey. I do think he's sort of taken to the role better than what Kudus did on Monday. I thought he was ill-disciplined, and Casey's on the ball at the minute, actually. Tried to find Guilherme, overhit, and falls to the keeper. Midfield pairing of Potts and Orford, which is what we've seen on Monday, but a very small tweak, actually. On Monday, Orford was to the right and Potts was to the left, but today Orford is the one that's to the left and Potts is the one on the right. For those that are watching the stream, Orford is 61 and Potts is 62. So Orford 1, Potts 2. Remember that, because they're quite similar in terms of how they look with their haircuts and their stature. Cornet is out on the left-hand side, or he was. It appears that Marshall's out there at the minute, but Cornet has been out there for the majority of the game so far. And Guilherme over on the right-hand side and Ward-Prowse in number 10. But right now, Cornet's gone up front and Callum Marshall is on the left. Whether he's just covering for him or it's a little switch by Lopetegui, we will find out. And just switching back. So I think Marshall just covering for Maxwell Cornet there, actually, which is good. Good awareness by the youngster that Cornet's out of position. So he's gone back to behave. I don't know what happened there. Cornet thought he was through on goal, and the referee blew up and said, "No, you're not." Must have been offside. Cornet has managed to be offside on a friendly, which is always good. It's nice to see him keep up with tradition. We've got a running joke here, Nick, that Cornet is always offside, which, granted, he is.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, you're about 15 seconds ahead of me, but yeah, he was indeed a sliver offside.
Ooh. Nearly 1-0 to the Daggers. Shot from, I think, their left wing back, blowing hard across the face of goal and not too far wide, actually. Nice ball by whoever their number 7 is out to the left wing back, and decent strike, just not too far wide. Had Fabianski on the floor, getting a little bit worried, but Still 0-0, 18 minutes gone. What? I think I'm a few seconds ahead of you. Am I a few seconds ahead of you, Nick?
Yeah.
I'll try to behave then.
Well, that's fine. That's fine because if you say what's going to happen, it means I can focus on actually watching.
Yeah, well, to be fair, that
replay.
Mrs. Jill once sent me a TikTok of someone like that. There was this bloke, right? He was watching the game on the TV, and he had Sky go on his laptop. And she said to him, "What are you doing? Why are you watching the same game twice?" He said, "Because if anything happens on the telly and I want to see a replay, I look down at my laptop because it's 20 seconds behind. So I've got like an instant action replay here if I want it." And she was getting him a hard go. And she said, "But you're going to watch Match of the Day later?" He said, "Yeah, I'm going to watch it for the third time, just in case I've missed anything in the first two." So you've got access to instant replays due to my reaction now.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a live and a delayed reaction. But yeah, I mean, I'm like I say, I mean, it's probably just because I'm easily impressed, but I'm actually quite impressed about what we're doing in these first 20 minutes.
George, we're not going to read the bench out, but the bench is on the screen at the minute. So if you're just listening, do glance your eyes over to the watch along for the next couple of minutes because the substitutes for the Hammers are there at the minute. It's everybody you would expect to be available is available on the bench. Please keep your comments coming in. If you're watching it, please get your comments in in regards to what you're thinking so far. Pick out a player in particular if you want to give your comments. Cunny's through, but good goalkeeping. Nice ball by Callum Marshall, actually. He started to drop a little bit deeper. I think in the early stage of the game, he was being physically dominated by Dagenham centre-backs, and I think he's starting to just drop 2 or 3 yards away from them in order to be able to get the first touch without any physical presence behind him. And it just worked there because he just dropped off, got the ball into his feet, tried to tuck it around the corner and put Cornet in. And it was just a little bit overhit. The goalkeeper reacted well, but unlucky. A good move, a positive move from Marshall and Cornet there. And again, here, this is what you're just going to see here is Marshall being manhandled by their centre-backs. High ball out there, and he's not doing anything wrong. He's just too small. Tough tackle by Freddie Potts, though. That's I agree with what you're saying about how it's got a bit more of a tempo than Monday's game. I would definitely agree with that. This one's got a bit of an edge to it for a friendly. There's nothing nasty happening or that, but there's just a bit more desire.
Some winning sliding tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, Marshall did well just a bit ago to cover a space and slide in, and then I think Potts just then slid in when he didn't have to slide in.
Navid is asking how Cornet's looking. What do you think?
Like I was saying earlier, it's at the moment he's not doing badly, but at the moment because the game's pace and is all over the place, still a bit scrappy. And like I say, because you can see it with players, like I say, now start sliding in when they don't necessarily need to.
Look, watch your screen here. Wait till you see this ping from Cornet, though. What's that? 30 yards onto Marshall's chest. He brought it down really well and just played it off.
What minute and second are you on?
I'm 22:05.
My word, 15 whole seconds.
That's all right. That's not too bad.
You're winning. Scotland's winning something.
Just let me just grab to double check the.
Yeah, that is lovely work. Yeah, lovely work by Potts then.
It's Mason. I just double checked his first name. West Ham fan Terry on the bench is Mason, who is a young goalkeeper. We did have another young goalkeeper in the squad on Monday, and he's not in the squad today. Are we having a drinks break? Oh, right. Come on, right. I understand a drinks break in Austria when it's 30-degree heat, but come on, this is England, and it's been warmer the last couple of days. But drinks break, 23 minutes in, and we're having a drinks break.
That's a bit weird.
Fair enough. It doesn't bother me too much. It doesn't bother me. Jack is asking how you think Casey's getting on at right back.
Doing well, I think. I think everyone's looking good. I don't think even in the first 20 minutes of games like this, sometimes you look around individually. I think everyone's doing well. Wingers and Cornet, Marshall, Guilherme, they're going to find it tough to get on the ball for more than about 2 seconds, but they're moving well. They're opening themselves up. So, yeah, it's all going quite well.
During the drinks break, I mean, it has only lasted under a minute. It's not the end of the world, but Lopetegui was just giving some words there to everybody in the group, and then specifically spoke to James Ward-Prowse for maybe 10, 15 seconds, which doesn't seem long, but it's a quarter of the time that he's got with the team there. He just started speaking to Ward-Prowse, and he started doing arm emotions pointing up, as if one would guess it maybe means get the ball over the top or out wide. It's one of the two. Which one it is, I'm not sure, but he was speaking to Ward-Prowse specifically there for a little period of time, which makes sense. He's the most experienced senior player there that's not playing in defence. But I agree with what you said about Casey. I think he's done quite well at right back, considering he's not a right back, but he's quite athletic, very tall, very comfortable on the ball. When I've seen him play for the under 18s and 21s, he is a real comfortable ball playing centre back, and I think you can utilise those skills and confidence at right back. You wouldn't want to play someone like Zuma right back, would you? Who's lacking a bit of pace and perhaps doesn't have that.
Or centre back.
or centre back doesn't have that elegance. Perhaps there.
He doesn't have that bendable leg quality that you so often search for in footballers these days. You
do need a bit of that. KT, the score's 0-0 currently. There's not been a goal. Barely been a shot, truth be told, from either side. Weirdly, it's a good game despite it being lacking goal mouth action. I've been quite impressed by what I'm seeing. When we are getting the ball at the back like we have now, Emerson's getting quite high up the pitch and Cornet's tucking in. Ooh, Guilherme just had a half volley, decent save. It was straight at the goalkeeper. It was on his weaker right foot. But a good save by the keeper. A long ball by Max Kilman up towards Callum Marshall, who does considerably, Ward-Prowse, does considerably well to flick it on to Guilherme. Half volley, tipped over the bar, good save. James Ward-Prowse winning it in the air.
Yeah, when we went off, just before we went off, just before there was the drinks break, Ward-Prowse was going up to Guilherme and telling him something like, probably give it to my feet or something like that. And they did a little nice high five. So a nice bit of camaraderie there. And then when the drinks break finished, Max Kilman made a point of the whole slightly bent over, clapping of the hands, come on lads kind of thing. So he's obviously being a bit vocal, which is good to see.
I'll tell you what, people are asking about the under 21s. What I will do is Frankie is there, so I'll message him. What's score and scorer? And then we'll get a live update from. We'll get a live update from Ebbsfleet, and we'll see what's going on at the under 21 game at the minute. But Frankie will be doing a video specifically from today's game, so it'll contain a lot of information. What's interesting is Dagenham has either moved the pitch or extended the pitch by a whole half a yard over the summer, haven't they?
Yeah, there is like a double line on our left wing as it was.
So they've.
You can't park there. Basically, there's two lines.
Well, Moyes would be in trouble because that's where he likes to pick the bus.
Well in by Kilman. Obviously, you would have seen that 10 seconds ago, but yeah, that was nice that he saw the play coming, intercepted the ball. He did put it out for throwing, but at least he read it.
Don't mind a long ball, do we, in this game? It's been quite a couple of times where when we've won the ball back from an attack, they don't mind putting it high and long if they have to. Potts just did it there, took it off Fabianski after some nice footwork, but I still don't trust Fabianski when he's trying to feign defenders, attackers, and he gives it to Potts, turns around, long ball to Cornet, lost it, but we don't mind it.
Yeah, I mean, Orford and Potts, I'm going to just say now, I won't say ready, but they're definitely going to have good careers. If I can just make a general prediction, they're so impressive, even in a game like this.
Wait till you see this pass from Max Kilman. It's such a simple ball, but it's nice to see a centre back just playing passes.
Double reactions. You get two reactions for the price of one.
Yeah, but it's just straight into the feet of Ward-Prowse. It's just nice to see rather than sort of
Yeah,
out Emerson and.
Yeah, he took it about 10. He had it about 10 yards away from the halfway line, and then head up. And he was just dribble, and he just pinged that nice left footer about a good 25 yards into Ward-Prowse's feet. It was on the move at the time, so that was good.
Yeah, right. I just put the first team back up.
Zuma got the ball and did a nice pass back to the goalkeeper. So that
he's going to have to learn, though, isn't he? He's going to have to learn how to. Get a little bit braver on the ball, and otherwise he's
I hope he doesn't. I'm not against him as a human being. I'm not, the cat thing, but as a footballer, thanks for everything. Some useful goals, but you can't turn your physical body 180 degrees anymore. You don't have the capacity to do that, which is very worrying. Zuma, I'm talking about.
We've got Emerson down at the minute.
Emerson,
yeah, it was a bit of a late one by the Dagenham number 2.
Yeah,
just a little bit keen to try and win the ball when it was in mid-air.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, thank God it wasn't like ankles. It was like thigh.
Yeah, so he's up now, but he was down for a minute or so rubbing his knee, and he doesn't best please Emerson. I understand why. In a fan that you don't really want to be getting
pretty much.
Yeah, but if you're a Dagenham player, you're pointing at Freddie Potts, going, "Well, hang on a minute, tell that lad stop lunging in." He's out. Got a free kick here out on the left-hand side, maybe 30 yards from the goal line. Emerson Ward-Prowse over it. Emerson's put the ball down. My rule of thumb, and it's more for when people shoot from free kicks. I've very rarely seen somebody take a free kick but let the other person put the ball down for them. Doesn't happen. So when you're watching the game and the commentator's going, "Oh, who's going to hit this?" It's 99% of the time is the person that puts the ball down. So Ward-Prowse put that down. He took it. Not the best free kick, not the worst. It's cleared away. But we've kept them back. It'd be nice to get a win today. It's not that important. Just for the feel-good factor, I think it'd be nice to get a couple of goals under our belt, maybe. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, chances are we will at this rate.
Max and Million, listen, it's the stream's links in below. We can't give you anything than that. I know you keep shouting and putting capital letters in the live chat, but there's nothing we can do. The link to the stream is in below. There's a comment that's pinned in the live chat from us that tells you the link is in the description below. We can't make it clearer than that. You have to pay for it, though. It is £5, but the money does go to Dagenham, and West Ham have an opportunity here. Ward-Prowse tried to chip it in from outside the box, and that was never really going to work, and it's been cleared now.
Yeah, it was nice, though. I can't tell who made that chance.
Somebody has got...
when I say made it, I mean Potts basically took that, took the ball from our halfway line. And there was a pass up to possibly Ward-Prowse, who then gave it back to Potts, and he took it forward again. I'm just a massive Freddie Potts fan. I think you can tell, and I think Jack said in the chat a minute ago about seeing the youngsters get a chance. Yes, this is this game, but I think it's when you've got those skills, when you've got skills and confidence to find space, get the ball, just basically pass and move, but make it everything you do look simple. Why not give Potts more time? And especially if you're thinking, Carabao Cup, the ideal opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Good timing from Midi here saying, does anyone know the under-21s score against Ebbsfleet? Just had an update through from Frankie, who's at the game. So it's currently 0-0. However, we've hit the post, but Ebbsfleet have had a few chances too. So there you go. There's your update from Ebbsfleet live on Hammer's Chat. Where'd you get that? We're covering 2 games for you. We're a reporter live at the ground for Ebbsfleet.
2 games, two reactions, because I'm still 10 seconds behind you, no matter how much I refresh.
And no goals in either
game.
Yeah,
a bit light on actual ball crossing line situations, but we're doing well.
I feel like there's a bit more confidence in the players today or something. It just seems to be a bit quicker. The passing's a bit slicker as well. We've got Potts on the ball at the minute.
The weather and the climate as well. It's like 32 plus. And it was like sunny baking 32 plus in Austria.
It's what you're possibly looking for as well. Just a gradual step up in effort as you go through the friendlies towards the season start. And you don't want them all gung-ho at the start. You just wanted to see a gradual increase every game. I'm happy with what I'm seeing today from the players. I think there's some nice touches out there, some good performances so far. I feel like we're working hard as well, all things considered. Even though it's a friendly, I feel like in regards to friendlies, I feel like there's quite a bit of effort on show from the players today, from both teams. Zuma just conceding possession here.
Yeah, and also, I think I can guess that you're going to say you couldn't possibly kill us, but I like the kit. I think the kit works well. It's probably why we're playing better. We've got that kind of black kit confidence.
I'm not bothered. I'm not too bothered at all in any way, shape, or form.
I like the black kit, and against Dagenham in their red and blue, it's reminiscent of the Palace away game, where either won that 3-1 or there was a very, very late goal for 3-2. That was when Jesse Lingard, the dancing Supremo, was with us. So it reminds me a bit of that game. Maybe that's why it's a bit kind of fast tempo, sliding tackles, because subconsciously we think we're in a kind of London derby against a team with a very quirky fan base who sing weird songs. So we're kind of up for it.
Max Kilman with a sexy bit of defending there, actually. There's a high ball over the top between Kilman and Zuma. And for a second, you thought maybe the Dagenham were a way to get in. He just plucks it out of the air, brings it down in one touch, and then turns on the half turn, and he's away playing out of defence. It was 3 touches, but it was some nice defending. But yeah, one thing I'm noticing, and also because Casey's not a natural right back, this makes sense. We're going down the left a lot more than the right, and Emerson's really hugging that touchline, and Cornet's coming in field 10, 15 yards. Now, this is something we've seen a lot with Lopetegui's teams in the past. High fullbacks, wide players coming inside, tucking in beside the striker, and we're seeing this today. If you have a look at where Cornet is now, is central of the 18-yard box next to Callum Marshall. He's really tucked in. Ward-Prowse is occupying that space vacated, but the long ball onto Emerson is an option pretty much every time the defence have it. And we ain't afraid to use it either. We are pinging that ball out to Emerson quite a lot over on that left-hand side.
We're working it around really well. We've had, I don't know, I haven't been actually counting the passes. I should have started, but that was at least in the region of 20 passes right up to the edge of their final third. Yeah. And so if I can just be stupidly optimistic in a pre-season against Dagenham and Redbridge, that was some of the best passing I've seen us do, especially in that area of the pitch when all of our players are already in their half. And like I said, it was right up to that final third area. And it was lovely pass and move. Everyone was getting involved. It was lovely to see. Max
Kilman's just had a dig from about 40 yards over the bar, but an ambitious effort. Mark's with you. He likes the black kit as well. And Callum, no idea when the third kit's been announced. I don't pay too much attention to it. I'm not one that gets excited or whatever with kits. I'm just not bothered by them. Wero, the link to buy the streams in the description below. You have to buy it, unfortunately. It's £5. And Navidus says he's going to watch the highlights. Thanks for tuning in so far, Navidus. But he said he ain't paying a fiver because of David Sullivan. The money goes to Dagenham and Redbridge. Now, listen, I'll criticise your club for plenty of things. I don't mind criticising the club. Did a video a couple of days ago, once again, talking about the season tickets and stuff. But for this, the £5 for this stream doesn't bother me because the money is going to Dagenham. I think grassroots football is important, and supporting a local non-league side, I think it's important as well. I like this friendly, playing Dagenham, a bit of money into the club to help them out. I think it's a good thing. Paying it, I think it's a really good thing.
If you want to give them and their fan base even more support, then you can go to if you like podcasts, if you're really into podcasts and you think you need more, there's Once a Dagger, Always a Dagger is available on Spotify. He started that recently. I did listen to 35 minutes of his podcast this morning to to prepare for this, and I don't know who he is, but it's obviously a loyal, lifelong supporter. And putting a podcast on Spotify is not an easy thing. You can't just upload there. You have to upload it somewhere else, then link it over there. So he's put some effort into it. So go to Once a Dagger, Always a Dagger on Spotify. Subscribe to him, or Instagram. He is Dagenham _and_ Redbridge _podcast. So give him a follow on Instagram.
There's your reminder that it's just a friendly. There was a heavy touch by one of the Daggers defenders there, and Ward-Prowse had a small opportunity to nick it. And I think in a competitive game, you might have seen Ward-Prowse maybe slide in for that one, but given the nature of it, he sort of ducked out and let the defender have it, which is fine. I'd be a bit annoyed if Ward-Prowse went in for that and one of them came out injured off the back of it. It's just not worth it. But it's just, there's your reminder that today's just a friendly. Dagenham just knocking around at the halfway line at the minute, just under 40 minutes on the clock. It's still Dagenham 0, West Ham 0. However, here come Dagenham still. Good ball. It's a poor cross by their right wing back. Fabianski gathers it and releases it really quickly out to this left-hand side once again, but it's Ward-Prowse rather than Emerson on the receiving end of it. But nice quick distribution from Fabianski, something that we here at Hammers Chat have been quite critical towards Fabianski of his slow distribution, perhaps. But it was nice, that one. Quick from him. Clearly a bit of a plan for distribution from Fabianski.
Yeah, it is interesting to see that it's not only when we're building with possession, but also in odd moments. People seem to release it.
Offside once again. No, there's no Jared Bowen. He's on holiday. He'll be on holiday for a couple of weeks yet.
That was only just offside there.
Where's the VAR? I don't think you'll have Paqueta or Bowen for the US tour. They fly out tomorrow. It's possible, maybe the Czech boys and Antonio, because obviously their tournaments finished earlier than what Paqueta's and Bowen's did. But I'd be surprised. The footballers have the same legal access as employed people. So they're entitled to 4 weeks holiday a year, plus their bank holidays, obviously. They're entitled to their 4 weeks holidays. And obviously, because of the season, they can't take a week off during August to May. So they basically get all 4 weeks in one go at the end of the season. So Jared Bowen is entitled to 4 weeks holiday. Now, that he might have used one. We don't know. He might have used one between season finishing and the Euros squad getting together. But it could be another 2-3 weeks before we see Jared Bowen back in training at West Ham United, because he might give up his holidays. But he say, no, I'm coming back early. I'm coming back. I don't need my time off. But they get the same holidays as we do. Well, the non-self-employed of us do.
I mean, am I imagining? What are you saying? 10 seconds ahead of me.
Oh. Superb ball by James Ward-Prowse out to the right-hand side. It was a lovely ball from him, actually. One touch to control it, one touch to ping it out to the right-hand side, onto the feet of Casey, who just side foots into the path of Guilherme. And it's on his right foot again. Keeper's out well, though, and deflects it wide for a corner. But really good play and a fantastic ball by Ward-Prowse, and a really cushioned pass from Casey into the path of Guilherme there. Who's now diving in the box. And to be fair, seems genuinely injured, actually. Seemed just like a little nudge, but he seems to have... Zuma's not happy with this, nor is Cornet or Casey, but Zuma in particular is not happy in regards to what just happened to Guilherme there. Cornet's not shutting up either. Just a friendly.
Yeah, I mean, me watching it with the prepared 10 seconds from you, I think there was nothing in that. I mean,
I thought it was just a nudge in the back or something.
Yeah, a very, very, very slight nudge.
Yeah.
And then maybe because our player is...
Physio's on. He's asking for a bit of treatment. He's holding his ankle, so maybe he fell a bit funny or something. But he was just giving a nudge while he was sort of leaping for the ball. It wasn't a foul, but...
Yeah, I'm going to go for the miraculous recovery prediction.
I don't know. He does look... that's maybe not struggling. I think that would be so, but in a little bit of pain. But it's his ankle, which I think it's more just he's landed funny, perhaps after getting nudged while in midair. Right, let's see what you're all saying in the live chat. Please keep your comments coming in. Mandan's quite disappointed. Bowen never got the chance at the Euros. Every one of them banging on about Gordon, but not one mentions Bowen by a lot of the pundits. Joseph, I like this one. Said he thought the England camp was the holiday. But I like it. Nice one, Joseph. I hope you're going to be sticking around. More of that, please. Thank you very much. Michael says Kone is obviously a bit rusty through lack of playing time. He'll make the excuses for being off all the time. I don't mind players being offside to some extent. If they're making those runs and they're only just offside, keep making them, because eventually you'll be just onside and you'll really benefit from it. It's just he's only half a second too quick. It just needs fine-tuned. It's not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned. I'm all right with it. People having problems logging into live stream. Admittedly, I've got a couple of people who are friends that are having the same issue. But I do believe, right? I do believe this. Don't take my word for it. Now, somebody's popped into the live chat earlier, and one of my friends have just said this, and they ain't watching the live chat. I do believe what Jay said here is correct. If you use the West Ham official app, which is free to download, you can get the stream for free. Now, he has bought tickets for the Betway Cup, so he doesn't know if that's the reason. I would suggest it's not that. So if you have the official West Ham app on your phone, it's maybe worth giving that a go, because that's two people now have said that they can watch the game for free via the app. I thought I had the app, but it appears I do not. So I might get it just now and test this out.
I've got it, but I paid, so I can't help.
Yeah, I'm not closing down the stream on the iPad. The app must be on my iPad. I definitely downloaded it because I needed to watch a game on there. Here you go. Darren is watching it for free on the app. But Callum saying that he can't. Matt's saying he can't. I mean, Max said it's not working. Right, okay. It's Luke saying he's tested it and it's working. Right, listen. Right.
I mean, it's just like the old days. It's nice that 20 years goes past, but the ticket office, as it was, is just the same.
It appears it's lucky dip, right? It appears some of you can get it and some of you can't. Darren can watch it and he's not bought any tickets. This is West Ham. This is right. Let me have a look. Let me turn the volume down. Don't want no copyright here. All right, so it's asking me to log in. Right, log in. Log in. Let's have a look. What do you mean my details are incorrect? Piss off. They're not. That's my login details. Okay, I'm in. It worked the second time, even though I put in the same one. Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. Look. I'm active. This is what I'm getting. You can't really read it. I'll read it out to you. It says an active video package is required to stream this content. What on earth is that? What do you mean buy it? I've bought it. I'm watching it here, mate. It's there. Anyway, the app. Listen. It's working for Dean. It's working for John. It's working for him. It's working for Luke. It's working for Billy, but it's not working for Dario. Someone's watching it in Hungary without an account. What on earth? Right, okay. Try the West Ham app. You might get it. You might not. Billy's just installed it. It's working free. Skizzo's downloaded the app. He's watching it. Matt's right. It could be a regional thing. It can't be a regional thing. Dean, this guy Dean, lives 20 minutes from my house. Dean lives 20 minutes away from me. He's watching it and I can't. Anyway, there you go. West Ham for you. Some of you can watch it, some of you can't, but it's worth giving that a crack. It's currently halftime. Dagenham 0, West Ham 0. This person, I don't know how to say it. Imagrim said he's not even logged in. He's in the UK and he's watching it. I don't know. This is just... Mark says the app's working for free. Didn't have to log in. Just play it. This is West Ham. I love this. West Ham are fantastic. Pay a fiver. Everyone pay a fiver. But some of you can get it for free on the app, and we're not going to tell anybody. Nick, yes and yes, you're fine.
All right.
Nick wants to reference a betting company and to have a swig of his beer while he's on the screen. Both are fine. You crack on.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to reference a betting company in particular. It was just I was thinking about. I was just watching how that first half unfolded. I was just being really impressed. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Just forget, the opposition, whatever context, but the way we were passing it around, the way pretty much all the way through the first half, which if you look at the last 30 minutes, especially, we had all the possession of. And what's the score? It's 0-0. But when we had possession all around the pitch, front to back, left to right, it was really 1-2 touch. It was really quick stuff. Even when we moved forward as a unit, from our half to theirs, it was quick. It was 1-2 touch. And then even at the scrappier parts of the game, when it kind of bounced back to one of our players and we got it, we actually maintained possession through more quick 1-2 touch. Like it would bobble around, it would get scrappy, and then our player would get it, and then it would be pass away, pass to someone else, pass over there. So that it just made me think about not necessarily predictions for the season, but too much to predict now. But in at least one of the main betting apps, let's say, West Ham will write down, if you just judge if a betting app had let's say to finish in the top 10, and then they list all of the teams, so they've obviously got City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and then all the way down who is most or least likely to win the league. We're right at the bottom. We're basically about like 16th in that table effectively, which in a sense, it's just one type of bet. You can't read too much into it or whatever, but we're actually below, if you look at, say, Palace, Brighton, even Bournemouth, Fulham, Wolves. For whatever reason, I'm not actually going to look into it. I'm just going to say that's where they've put us, even way down, which I just found that a bit funny. And no, I'm only choosing my words carefully because this is not gambling advice. If you were going to take gambling advice, don't take it from me. But I think even to finish in the top 10, I think we're 11-10. Just for context of those with stats and data, I don't know what making predictions. I found that a little bit odd.
Thank you, Nick. Right, for people in the live chat, listen, try the app. Most of you can watch it. Some of you can't. It's not a you thing. It's a West Ham thing, I promise you, because it ain't working for me, okay? I've got a season ticket. I've renewed my season ticket. I've paid my fiver for this game, and I can't watch it. I don't know what else I could do in regards to the app in order to access it. I think it's just a little bit of luck.
DJ like an MC neat then, just banging out 90s garage references.
I don't know what it is, but listen, for everybody that's been waiting and complaining they can't watch it, it's worth trying the app. Okay, it's free to download. Loads of people are able to watch it now. This is good news. The bad news is people are leaving the stream because they're now going on to the app to watch it instead of watching us here on the watch along. So we'll cost ourselves a few viewers, but it's worth it if people can watch the second half, because I think it's been quite a reasonably entertaining first half in all things considered. If you're new around here, though, please do subscribe during this stream. Earlier on, we hit 39,000 subscribers. It's a nice milestone. 40,000 would feel a little bit nicer. So thank you very much for subscribing. Please do drop a like on the video as well by clicking the thumbs up. It helps out this video and helps out the channel. It's currently half time. In regards to the first half, Nick was, bearing in mind this, probably a way to be sort of mass changes by Lopetegui at the break. Was there anyone that stood out for you in particular?
I mean, everyone did well. I mean, Potts and Orford in 45 minutes against Dagenham and Redbridge, I was surprised. I already knew they were quite good. I was almost amazed because they were so good. The range of passing, their ability to find space, receive, head up all the time, awareness, release, and also not just range of passing in like terms of distances, but in terms of situations. Firstly, like I say, find space, receive, release, scores 0-0, all this kind of thing, but also just that kind of off the cuff stuff where it would just either bobble into them or ping into them from someone else, and two-footed, whether it was just one touch turn outside of the foot, get it to another player. So Potts and Orford, I don't know why we need 20 million on Kante or anyone else. We've got those two.
Yeah, right, 1 second. And I'm back in the room. Anyway, right, yes, in regards to the first half, I think Kilman looked good. Nick, I thought I was impressed by his distribution from the back. Quite confident. Some nice sharp passes into midfield, some long passes out to the wings as well. A real variation of distribution from Kilman, but I liked what I've seen. I thought Emerson's positioning was really good, getting forward down that left-hand side. I thought Cornet started quite brightly, faded a little bit, but there's been some nice touches and runs from him. I'd like to see him stay on the pitch as long as possible today. There's one or two players that's going to get an hour rather than the 45. I'd like Cornet to be one of those. I think Ward-Prowse looks like the senior player. Don't ask why. I can't describe it. He just looks a bit more comfortable than the rest of them around him. Guilherme's had some nice runs and touches, far more involved than he was on Monday. Monday, I didn't think he was involved too much, but today, 2 decent chances on his right foot, decent saves by the keeper. On another day, he might do a bit more. Marshall's trying, bless him. I think sometimes he struggled, but when he has been able to get away from the centre-backs, he's done well. His control as well. It's just that he's getting physically dominated quite a bit, which you would expect with the Dagenham defenders, and he is quite small, Marshall. So I've been pretty pleased. I think people are saying you need to eat a Baby Bell, by the way, and they're asking, and it's Charlie's fault that you have to eat a Baby Bell, but they're also asking if you're on a hospital bed, which...
Yeah, at first I thought that was just because
you've seen it.
I'm being very complimentary about West Ham, and I think the future's bright, so they might think I've completely lost my mind. No, it is. I'm not at home at the moment. I'm on a working holiday, so it's a curtain, and behind the curtain is nighttime because I am many hours ahead of England at the moment. But no, thank you for caring. So that's always nice to see.
I think they were more questioning where we found you from, where we got you from, some sort of asylum or something.
Yes, well, I don't know if this is a clue as to my location, but that might help. Should know where that's from.
Callum is asking if Callum Marshall is better than Mubama. I think it's near impossible to tell at this point, isn't it? It's not really.
I'll say yes. I've seen Marshall break into a sweat and run, which I did not see Mubama do. So,
shut the front door, because I think the players are back out on the pitch at the minute, and I think I'm just going to get confirmation via my other graphic. Give me 1 second. Before I get excited and get the live chat excited, I want confirmation of this. I can confirm, and Charlie's in the live chat, he's going to get very excited. Andy Irving is on the pitch. Andy Irving is out for the second half, as is George Earthy. But we have our brave heart. He will be playing the second half for West Ham. Emerson is still on the park, so he looks like one of the players that will be getting a bit longer. But Andy Irving is out there. Here we go. Andy Irving is here. Charlie is excited. I'm excited. We're going to get our Scottish Iniesta out on the park for the second half. PB is excited. Callum is excited. Stephen is excited. We're all excited for a little bit of Andy Irving. I don't. Bill said Marshall has been up front with Ward-Prowse running the show. It's going to be a bit of a change in the second half. I can see Kudus, I can see Earthy. Can't take my eyes off Andy Irving. And there's a lot of other players passing the ball a bit, but they're out of shot at the minute. So those are the ones I can see presently. I think that might be on Ollie Scarles as well, possibly. Ward-Prowse is there. Orford is still on that. I'm pretty convinced that's Lewis Orford. And someone's speaking to James Ward-Prowse. It might be Nathan Gerd. I think that's Nathan Gerd chatting to James Ward-Prowse. So Ward-Prowse and Emerson are certainly the two players remaining on. There may be a couple of others, but they are remaining on the pitch for the second half. And I'm going to try and type out the team and get it up on the bottom of the screen for the second half so we can work out whom is whom.
Where are you seeing this? Because I'm still on the halftime video thing on mine.
Well, flash. Let's see what your screen looks like. Just it'll be all right. Just give it a quick.
It's just that point of view training video they put on at
Let's
halftime.
have a look. Just chuck it up. Well, where are you? Oh, hang on. We've got different streams. You're on West Ham TV. I'm on National League Player. That's why we've got two different. So obviously the club are promoting their stuff to you, whereas National League ain't promoting West Ham to me. During halftime, I've been watching. No, I've not had that. During halftime, I've been watching the pitch get watered, and now I've been watching. The players are currently warming up.
Sounds nice.
League One Wes is on. People will be pleased to know, and it looks like Aaron Craswell is on with the captain's armband. Now, interestingly, Emerson was still out for the second half, so either he's going to move forward, or perhaps he's going to be switching to back three for the second half with Craswell in there and Emerson as a wing back. And Chris, we don't know. Andy Irving, we don't know why the club haven't announced Andy Irving. We don't know, but he's become a bit of a cult hero. He's become a bit of a meme for this reason. It's added to the hype, the mystery of Andy Irving, and he's made him a fan's favourite already. Plus, he got an assist in the last game, last-minute equaliser.
Yeah, it hasn't happened to Louis Ziao, or however you say his name.
No.
Who apparently, which might not be true, is earning £20,000 a week.
I wouldn't believe that.
Just
he might be
existing. But I mean, it's on a published list. I mean, he might have to give that back as soon as he gets it, but that's what it says.
Just to confirm, I know Charlie. I said Ollie Scarles. I can't see him. I think I must have thought it was someone else. So I'd assume he's perhaps going to be remaining on the bench, and he will come on for Emerson at some point in the second half. Because I can't see Ollie Scarles at the minute. I mean, I could guess what the 11 is going to be for the second half, right? Because I've got Kudus, Earthy, Danny Ings. I haven't mentioned him. Ings is out for the second half. Orford, Ward-Prowse, Big Andy Irving, Nathan Gerd, Emerson, Craswell, and who's that guy? I'm missing one player. I can see him, but I can't work out who it is. Sir, whom are you?
You're following Craswell again.
Dagenham's taking a while, isn't he? Dagenham's taking ages to get out for the second half. What's going on here? We're not quite.
Well, they had no possession for about 30 minutes, so manager's probably got some things to sort out. Yeah, the team's up on the pitch now on the West Ham stream, and also to add to the mystery, I put the West Ham app on my phone, which is an Android, and I'm not logged in, and it's still and it's live. I can watch it. So
right,
I don't know whether it is the Android phone thing. You need to find someone.
Yeah, I think it might be that. I'm on iOS, so maybe that's. I've
got run out your house, find someone, scream in the street who has an Android phone, and then beg them to download the West Ham app.
We've got an update. Dagenham's coming out now. Got an update from the under-21s game. There's been a goal. I'll get to it in a second. But first, I'm going to tell you what the starting 11 was for Steve Potts' side and the two players who have stood out in the first half for West Ham, Con Frankie. Herrick was in goal, and that was who was on the bench for the first team on Monday. He's dropped back into the 21s. He was in goal. We had Ryan Batcham was starting at right back with Mayers at left back. We had Nuziao and Levi Lane playing, as well as Tyrone Akpa. Sean Moore, who was involved in the first team training camp in Austria, he started today, as well as Sawyer. Dan Rigg was playing, as well as Adeli, Chukwemeka Adeli, as well as number 9, who is trialist. We have number 9 trialist for the under-21s today. Frankie has said that Sawyer's has been the best player, and Adeli is also one to watch. Said that Sawyer's picked the ball up at the edge of the box, turned around the length of the park, got to the edge of the box and passed, but he should have had a shot. He thinks Sawyer is on another level today. It's currently 1-0 Ebbsfleet. The goal came from West Ham's left-hand side, simple ball in, and it was a tap-in. Could have been 2-0, but Luiziao ran all the way across the box to stop the Ebbsfleet striker, went 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. So update is West Ham under 21s 0, Ebbsfleet 1 at the minute from that game. Then the game is just kicking off here at Dagenham. Lots of changes for West Ham, and I'll try and bring them to you in just a second. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Nick, while I try and work out the changes and type them up, if you don't mind.
Go for it. Yeah, just kicked off second half. And I'm now on my phone on the app. I'm in equivalent time to where you were. Where on the iPad I was 15 seconds behind, and I had quite a lot of time envy at the moment. So it's on 2 screens now. You'll all be glad to know. So yeah, obviously there's going to be a period of time where players on the pitch have to kind of, feel their way into the game a bit, especially if it's going to be surprisingly physical as it was in the first half. Not in a bad way, but just more sliding tackles and a few fouls, a bit more than you'd expect for a pre-season. However, you can say from the first minute, that is what's the same is that we've got possession and we're knocking it around now with a lot of confidence, which is good to see. If you didn't watch any of the first half, then my feelings and my summary about it was that I was just really, really impressed with everyone on the pitch and everything I saw, which was a strange and unsettling feeling.
Right then, I've got an update regarding the lineup for the second half. It's on your screen now, and this is how I see it at the minute. This may change, but at the minute, this is how I see it. Foderingham is in goal. Kudus came in at right back with Mavropanos and Nefiger centre back, and Aaron Creswell at left back with the captain's armband on. Lewis Orford has remained on the pitch, is now partnering Andy Irving in midfield. James Ward-Prowse is further ahead. George Earthy is on there, perhaps slightly to the right, with Emerson pushing up into a more advanced role and Danny Ings as a striker. That's what I think the lineup is, but we will bring you updates as we go, because George Earthy is quite central at the minute. So maybe Ward-Prowse will be the one on the right, and Kudua is the more advanced fullback. In the first half, Emerson was really pushing forward, but saying that Creswell's further forward here at the minute as well. So it'd be interesting. Ball in from Andy Irving, our Scottish Iniesta, trying to create things, but it was put out from a Dagenham defender for a corner. Not surprised when Andy Irving is on the ball. Safety first, protocol measures come into play.
Is he 29?
Yes, he is.
Not age. I mean the number, shirt number.
Yeah, he's 29. I mean, he should be number 8. He should be number 8.
No comment.
Corner in 15, from Creswell, cleared out.
Who's number 15?
That would be Konstantinos Mavropanos.
Right, okay.
Darren,
I was trying to figure out in the last couple of minutes what happened to the right back and what the positioning was, because it looked as though we were much more spread out, and then Mavropanos was basically almost like on the right at some point.
Darren said there will be highlights on YouTube, but there'll be highlights on the West Ham website as well, and you won't have to wait long for the highlights either. As I knew the score's 0-0. Sorry, I forgot to put that on the lineup. I'll add the score in a second. Dino's saying Zuma's got ice on his knees. To be fair, he's always got it. There has been a goal. It's come through on my phone, so everyone pay attention now. There's a goal. We will all see it at the same time. Danny Ings has got the ball on the left-hand side, puts it into the box, comes out to James Ward-Prowse, who lays off. Andy Irving! Oh, it's a banger from Andy Irving! Andy Irving has scored a screamer from the edge of the box. Oh, my word! We've got a left-footed Scottish Iniesta playing for West Ham at the minute. Andy Irving has just scored from 20 yards out.
It's unsavable, basically. Ings does really well on that left wing. He doesn't rush things, takes his time, comes in, Ward-Prowse, immediate layoff, and that's a left-footed, just dream curler at that angle where keeper's got no chance. Top right-hand corner it ends up in, but it's not. It doesn't go straight into that top right-hand corner. It curls all that way over and nestles almost sideways at that point into the top right-hand corner. See it again.
This is fantastic.
That's a lovely goal. Seeing it yet again here. Yeah, it's a really nice. It's a slow layoff from Ward-Prowse, so it comes at him slowly. He's really got time to set himself. Couple of steps just to really get into position, and he's leaning sideways, left-footed swipe over. Lovely goal.
What a boy! What a boy, Andy Irving. This is brilliant. I absolutely loved it. It's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, is that the first non-own goal?
He's having a dig at the Euros. He's having a dig about Scotland at the Euros, and it's a good one, to be fair. I'll give him
that's why I highlighted it. So
it's funny, and also it's the second one after Scott McTominay. Thank you very much.
Did they turn that one over or? Nice, Ant. Gotta get that nice Andy Irving. The ball was swerving. There we go.
What a goal though! That's brilliant. I love this. Pre-season can be fun. Charlie, bless him. Charlie, thank you for the £5 super chat. You didn't have to, but thank you very much. He says, unstoppable, unsavable, unbeatable. Andy Irving. That's like the. Do you know those iconic commentaries you get for goals, like with Canio's volley? You get the take a bow, son. Winston Reid's header. It's meant to be. That's the commentary for Andy Irving. There you are. Montana, it's currently 1-0 West Ham. Big Andy Irving with the only goal of the match so far. Let me just type it up. We're on the attack here. Nick, talk us through the attack as it happens, please, as I type this up.
I'm frozen. I'm frozen twice. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's not handy, is it?
You're attacking with pace. Obviously, and big, as you call him. I don't know how tall he is. I don't think he's that big, but he's obviously got his tail up now. So he's whenever he gets the ball, he's driving forward with it. He wants to prove that wasn't a fluke. I think he wants to hit the other top corner.
There you go. I've added a score to the bottom of the screen now, as well as the goal scorer. Tim Ass is asking when we bought him. Well, if you ask anyone at the club, we don't know. But we bought him last summer, loaned him back to his club in Austria. Club never announced it, still haven't announced it. He's now got an assist and a goal in 2 pre-season friendlies. Bit of a hold-up in play here as West Ham have a throw-in. Unsure why. I don't have commentary on.
Yeah, all they're showing is the picture of him just holding the ball.
Well, Ward-Prowse has just been fouled about that awkward distance. Maybe, this is shooting distance for Ward-Prowse. Maybe 25 yards out, a bit to the right-hand side. You don't really want to be too far to one side of the post, and he's quite... he can't shoot from... He might shoot from here, but it's a...
I want to get Irving's left peg on that.
Yeah, you need to be getting it.
Surely.
He's lingering outside the box.
This is nothing for him.
Yeah, he's just
this
lingering.
Is bread and butter. Oh no, it's Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse will dink this in. Agard and Mavropanos are in there. Emerson's in there. And Andy Irving is prowling on the edge of the box, waiting for any knockdown. It looks like a bit of a training ground free kick. Do you remember, people, when Noble and Nolan used to do this stupid free kick routine where we'd flick it over the wall for Nolan to volley, and it never ever worked. We just tried to do something similar. Ward-Prowse dinked over the wall for Danny Ings, but it was poor pass, poor run. And what ball?
It was a weird one.
Who's just played that to George Earthy? Was that Danny Ings?
I'll find out in several seconds.
Naturally, I'm just assuming it's Andy Irving, but somebody just pung a delicious ball out to George Earthy.
No, it was it's Orford. Was Orford still on the pitch? Which one's on them? The twins, Orford and Potts.
We might get a bit of a replay here of that pass, and then I can work out who it was. But that was a lovely ball.
I think it was 61.
Yeah, that's Orford. 61 is
yeah.
So there's a sort of superb pass that was right into the path of Earthy. He brought it down well.
Toddy's ready. Kante can't pass like that, so don't need him.
Centre backs just passing, doing Irving and Aguirre just doing 1-2s between them. Confidence is oozing from the Scottish Iniesta. Here he is. Oh, look at all these triangles with Andy Irving at the heart of it.
Can he be at the heart of a triangle?
I don't know. Call him Brad Pitt because he's pulling his strings of the hearts out there. Here he is. Orford pinging it out to Aaron Creswell this time. It's been a good performance. I've enjoyed it. It's more of the same in the second half. Just a bit more freedom, perhaps. In the first game, I thought was very structured, and this game just feels a little bit more like the players have got a bit more freedom. I tell you what, we've not even got Kudus on yet. I just thought he's on the bench. So we've still got Mohammed Kudus to come on, as well as all his Scarls.
Yeah, Irving's bristling with confidence after that goal, and obviously when you see it, you'll know why. But it's just funny, just someone who was playing football somewhere else. I mean, in Austria, but suddenly comes back to Britain and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a Premier League footballer now." Yeah, he hasn't actually played any games in that way, but he's suddenly on the pitch with them. And then because of that goal, yeah, he's demanding balls into him, and he's at the heart of things. Not necessarily triangles, but certainly of other important shapes.
Yeah, we've got a free kick on the edge of the box, to the side of the box, I should say. Ward-Prowse over it. Update from the Ebbsfleet. It's still 1-0 to Ebbsfleet against under 21s, but Frankie said it should be 1-1. So we've got a trialist up front, that number 9. So he's done little all game and he's very weak. Adiel, that Chukwuemeka. Adiel's done amazing, broke free to the edge of the box. Trialist took the ball off him, one-on-one with the keeper, and made a mess of it. So it's currently Ebbsfleet 1, West Ham under 21s 0 over there. And it's currently West Ham 1, Dagenham Redbridge 0. Ward-Prowse a free kick to the right-hand side of the box, and he's going to swing this one in. Creswell's there, and it looks like Creswell's maybe taking control. It's a little flick. It's coming. Creswell will play it and then cross it. I could see this a mile away. Just as bad as the first one. Oh, it's taking a deflection. Apologies, Skinny Gio. It deflected, and it's gone out for a corner, and Creswell will go over to the other side of the pitch to take this corner at the minute. And people asking if Irving was a Moyes signing, I don't know. He was signed while Moyes was manager, but who signed him, I don't know. I'm not going to get involved in that argument as to who identified the Scottish Iniesta, whether it was Irving or Steiden or David Sullivan even. I don't know. I'm staying out of it. Ooh, Mavropanos heading over. Good opportunity, that one. Good ball in by Creswell. Mavropanos met it, but headed over just 7-8 yards out, quite central. Should be doing better. That was the Premier League. I'd be putting that one down as a chance, Nick.
Yeah, it's 1-0 for those who haven't realised that. I mean, at least we got the ball into the box after those last 2 odd free kicks that didn't need messing around with.
But this is the time to try it. You're going to try free kicks and stuff. Try it in this game. Doesn't work, not a big deal. Ward-Prowse not happy with Emerson there. He got a little bit greedy. He went on a run, took on a couple of players, and Ward-Prowse was free, and Emerson tried to take on another player and got tackled. And yeah, our number 7 is not happy with Emerson's greed there. Ed says because he was signed under Moy doesn't mean it was him who signed him, but seeing as he's Scottish, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, I know you said you've been asked this. Why is there no link on YouTube to the game? There is. It's in the description below. It's in the description below. Go watch it if you want to. Some people can watch on the app. Some people can't. It's potluck. We think it's an Android iOS thing, but we're not really sure, to be honest with you. We're not too sure.
It seems that Android users can just get it and don't even need to log in if you just get the West Ham app on the App Store or the Google Play Store or whatever.
Montana saying Wan-Bissaka is playing good for Man U. I assume that's on the actual telly. They're playing Rangers today, Man United, but a very inexperienced team they've taken up to. They're playing at Midfield in Edinburgh. A very inexperienced side they've taken up. But Wan-Bissaka's there and Mason Mount's there. I've seen the squad earlier because there was complaints. 60 quid a ticket for that friendly today to go watch Rangers Man U. Like 50 something pound, but it's neither 60. And there's not many first team players from Man United going. Ed's asking about Guilherme and Potts. They're both off the pitch, Ed. They both played the first half. I thought they both looked good. Nick, what did you make of Guilherme and Potts?
Guilherme did fine, but the first half was scrappy, and it wasn't. We played really well, but once we got into their final third, I thought everything he did well, but it just wasn't that game where he had necessarily time to compose himself and run at players or this or that. And obviously, it's so early on for him, but he did well. I thought Potts did incredibly well. For 45 minutes, he was close to a 9 out of 10 performance, really, just because everything he did was impressive. Making himself available, receiving, releasing, knitting things together. I thought he did incredibly well.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Guilherme didn't offer much on Monday. There wasn't too much to go by. There was very little evidence of Guilherme on Monday. I couldn't really read much, but I thought there was a lot more today of what he can bring to West Ham. Obviously, it's a friendly against Dagenham. There's only so much you can read into it, but I was pleased with what I've seen. And same with Potts, very confident player, Freddie Potts. West Ham at the minute just playing neat little triangles, maybe 30 yards from Dagenham's goal, just working the ball out to the left-hand side, offside. Not Maxwell Cornet this time. Aaron Creswell, who's picked the ball up and jogged about 20 yards with it and would have got booked in the Premier League had he done that. But Creswell was offside on this occasion. The Cornet lives on. More substitutions, I think. It's getting a bit stop-start this game. There's already been a couple of stoppages. And
yeah, I mean, we've still got that. We've carried over from the first half, the quick touches, the 1-2 touch play. And I thought last season, it wasn't only a Moyes thing. It was just I used to get really annoyed at some of our players. Obviously, Paqueta, you can't really blame him too much. Captain of Brazil, you can't really blame a Brazilian for playing like a Brazilian and just holding on to the ball. Sometimes that's just, they like doing that. There's a word for it. I forgot what it is right now. But that used to annoy me a bit when they just wouldn't release it. And again, not blaming him because he had a great season, amazing play. But sometimes last season, I thought Kudus would sometimes also not release it after just a certain number of touches, which obviously, there's a lot of reasons why that could happen first season in the Premier League. It could have been the tactics and the positioning around him. I don't know, but it does annoy you when you're just screaming for players to just release the ball. You've got the position to release it to someone else. So we seem to be doing that this half as we were in the first half. There's no just unnecessary holding onto the ball, which again may be a positional tactical thing that they do feel they have options. It seems to just getting it. It really seems to have been something that they must have been focusing on a lot in the last week or two in training for it to be that 1-2 touch, which is a good thing.
Well, eyes down because Andy Irving with a superb ball through to Kadua, who cut it back to Mohammed Kudus, who's now on the pitch. West Ham made what I assume is the final 2 substitutions of the day. And I think Ollie Scarles has come on to replace Emerson, and Kudus has come on to replace James Ward-Prowse. So a couple of changes for West Ham. So Mohammed Kudus is now on the pitch at least as well. So that's always good news. I was trying to look at something. And Patrick Kelly has come on. And he has come on for, Lewis Orford. It will be for Lewis Orford because he also remained on the pitch. So Emerson, Ward-Prowse, and Orford off, Kudus, Scarles, and Patrick Kelly on. So Patrick Kelly's come on. He's gone into his natural position in midfield. Had to play right wing back for the first part of his appearance on Monday, but he's gone into midfield alongside the Scottish Iniesta. Kudus out on the right-hand side. Earthy in the number 10, and we've got Ollie Scarles out on the left wing ahead of Aaron Cresswell. So 10, 11 changes now made by Lopetegui. So we've got a completely different team that compared to the start of the game. And we're still looking comfortable. And Jay, it is 1-0. It's 1-0 West Ham. Andy Irving with the absolute banger. And Ben also says that we're moving the ball a little bit quicker today compared to previously. Montana says he likes the patterns we're trying to play in, and with Kudus, Paqueta, and Bowen, he's looking forward to this with Kudus, Paqueta, and Bowen. Agree. I think what we're trying to do, quick passing. Someone just gave the ball away, though. I think it might have been Patrick Kelly, but well recovered there by Navagerd, got back quickly. It wasn't Patrick Kelly that gave the ball away. It was George Earthy. Earthy gave the ball away, but Gerd bailed him out a little bit, and Malpanos is dribbling up the field with it at the moment. Lovely ball out. The fullbacks are getting so high in this game, so high. That's Cresswell there on the end of it. He's offside again. Cresswell's offside. I tell you what, when we play Aston Villa, I'm having a few quid on Emerson to be offside a couple of times. We knew this. We knew this from Lopetegui's teams prior to West Ham, that he likes his fullbacks to get up and he likes those wide players, the midfielders, to come inside. And if you look at the positioning of Mohammed Kudus, he's much closer to the sort of centre spot than he is the touchline. He's getting infield and allowing Kudus to come down that side, just like Cresswell is over on the left-hand side, really attacking fullbacks from West Ham today. I thought they were a bit reserved on Monday. Cresswell especially, not so much today. The shackles are off. Not surprised when you got Andy Irving in the team. I'd also be bombing forward with that guy in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, people are still asking who scored. It wasn't Andy Irving. Beautiful. 20 yards out, maybe 21. He was at the centre of the goal. Ball slowly rolled back by Ward-Prowse, and then Irving composes himself, takes a couple of quick steps, and then left-footed swings it, beautiful arcing curve into the top right-hand corner. Goalkeeper stood no chance.
Good little run there by Ollie Scarles. Good tackle. Then got up quickly and moved the ball well before getting fouled. Free kick to West Ham just inside our half. Nothing too exciting. Cresswell just played it short to Agard. It is. Andy Irving wanted it, didn't get it. He was denied by Cresswell. Jealous because there's a new left peg wonder kid at the club. Earthy's picked up in good space. Looked to find Scarles, but a heavy touch, and it's through to the Dagenham goalkeeper. There's been a goal. It's been a goal at Ebbsfleet. We took Louisiana off, and a minute later, Ebbsfleet scored from a header from a cross. So it's 2-0 Ebbsfleet now. So it's Ebbsfleet 2, West Ham under 21s 0. Scarles conceding a free kick inside Dagenham's half and would have been booked in the Premier League, but referee's not too bothered with it being a friendly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm midfield in this game. Obviously, during the game, it's going to be difficult for the players to, translate precisely what they've been told in training and seen on a board. But we're fluid, to say the least. Like you say, yeah, the fullbacks are on both sides. Feel free to get really, really high up, right up to the 18-yard line or the 18-yard box. But then in the midfield, it seems that your mate Andy Irving is also very happy to come right over to the right wing as well, to link up with them. But he also seems to stick around that side, which obviously some coaches do. Some coaches just have the midfield players, like defending, attack, and allowed to go, and some like to really keep them on their sides. So I don't know if that's the case or just the game's been going that way.
Yeah.
And he's hoping to use his left leg to great effect, which he has done some nice through balls. And obviously after that goal, he's so confident that when he gets the ball, he doesn't mind just doing those small touches that players are, when they get really confident, instead of just taking it in and then taking a touch, he'll take the touch with the bottom of his foot, rolling the ball forwards. Little bits like that, which shows that he's obviously well chuffed with that goal.
He's enjoying it, isn't he? He's enjoying it. Mavropanos now getting involved in the passing. Danny Ings dropping off to get involved too. He's been fouled. The game was delayed for about 30 seconds as the Daggers made more substitutions.
Yeah, Mavropanos starts that move. Like I say, it's close to a right-back position when he actually receives it. And obviously, Kudus at that point is not even on the screen. He's so far out up on the wing.
I think it might give you an indication as to why West Ham were perhaps interested in N'Golo Kanté. Whether you want him or not, put your opinion of the player to one side. The oracle, as far as I'm concerned, of David Ornstein this morning, very early this morning, said that we had a £15 million bid rejected. So that's now all the big hitters suggesting that we do want N'Golo Kanté. But even if you don't believe it, just for the next minute, assume we do. I think the way we're playing today would maybe show why that he perhaps wants somebody to come in and do this role. Because if you are going to get your fullbacks this high, I mean, look at Mavropanos now. He's 10, 15 yards over the halfway line.
He's a right back himself.
Kudus and Creswell are almost as high up the pitch as Danny Ings, who's the striker. So if you are going to play that far up, you need protection for your defence, and you need somebody that can control the middle of the pitch and just sit in there to prevent any counter-attacks. And he may not be as good at it anymore. I don't know. I don't watch the Saudi Pro League, but certainly prime N'Golo Kanté was the best at it. Andy Irving has just been hauled down. The referee says no foul. The referee's just allowing brutal attacks on Andy Irving to be committed now. You can't stop him, beat him up. That's obviously the message.
Yeah, Ben says, what do you think of Kudus right wing back? I mean, he seems to be doing well. In the very short time he's come on, but just that whole I mean, everything about that progression from keeper to centre back, and then it doesn't only go to fullback, because at that point the fullback is so far up the pitch, and then centre back Mavropanos in that case is actually willing to bring the ball out, cross the halfway line with it. Then whoever's playing right wing will come back to him, the centre back, and they'll try and put something together that releases the fullback, who's basically on the right wing at that point. So compare that with, not bashing Moyes, but what we saw last season, which used to frustrate me again, which is it used to just be back four, Soufal sitting on as right back, which I don't think that's his fault. He would have been told just sit at right back. Ball would go to right back and he'd be on the line, and then he'd just turn and there'd be nothing. There'd be nothing there because nothing had really been set up. And then obviously his choice is go back or just try and ping it across, usually to Bowen. Possibly Kudus in that situation, just go run, see if you can run and get it. There was none of this of what we're seeing.
Yeah, I agree. There was an example there. Mavropanos just played it into the feet of Kudus, who's in field, turned a couple of strides forward, out to Kudus, who's on the right hand side, just completely open. There's no one near him. Then we worked out over to the left side. Scarles had it. Creswell went bombing past him on the overlap, ball in. Ended up going out for a goal kick. It was a poor cross from Scarles, but you can see what we're trying to do with getting these fullbacks right up the pitch in this half. We're playing a back four, out of possession. It's a back four. There's no wing backs going on here. It's not. We don't have an additional centre back here. It's four at the back. But Creswell and Kudus are just playing so high up when we're in possession. No, Mavropanos, as Nick has said, has spent more time closer to the touchline than he has the 18-yarder. This is what Lopetegui used to do. This is like the Lopetegui blueprint, if you like, his previous reigns. High fullbacks up the pitch, and Mavpanos now just smashing it out to the opposite side where Aaron Creswell is. Oli Scarles just took that like Aaron Creswell. I thought it was Creswell. It was Scarles. That is the same thing Creswell does. That touch with his little T-Rex arm waiting for the ball to drop out the sky. A shooting chance here for Patrick Kelly, but he works out to Kadura. We're overloading the box, but the ball's overhit and out for a throw in the opposite side of the pitch. I think there's another goal coming. I think we're maybe going to be treated to one more before the full-time whistle, Nick. It feels all right.
Yeah, I think so. Well, fair enough, but no, we got a trophy under his watch. Come on. Live and let live.
Throw in for Daggers at the minute, 75 minutes on the clock. I assume we're not having a water break in this half, otherwise that would have been the right moment to go for a swig of the Lucozade.
Camera setup, and it's just the beige curtain of this hospital ward that I apparently find myself in.
We've hired a Simpson. Nick with jaundice.
Yeah, it's because I'm drinking. I have this Qingdao. It's lovely, but it's the premium Qingdao version. So I don't just drink the normal stuff. It's quite fancy.
That's all right. Show off. Anyway, Kudus on the ball. He's absolutely done the defender. Brought down again. Premier League. That's a booking, but good movement. Mavpanos has played a lot of those passes into Kudus. I've really liked it. Actually, I've really liked it.
Yeah. I mean, based on that, it's hard to judge, but I say yes. Potts and Orford, when next time we're 3-0 up in a Premier League game, then yeah, chuck them on.
I'm not too sure. I'll wait and see. I've got high hopes for Orford, but we need to sort the contract situation out because otherwise, I'll just get political again, and we can't play him because he's only got 1 year to go in his contract. But West Ham haven't offered him anything yet. West Ham are yet to make Lewis Orford a contract offer. He's only got a year to go in his contract. It's just ridiculous. Honestly, the club are ridiculous with things like that. They do not. They've always been rubbish at dealing with academy players on the fringes of the first team. They're always poor with this. And I'm convinced it's because of the Reece Oxford thing. We gave Reece Oxford a decent contract for a 16-year-old, and he ended up not being as good as what we hoped. And since then, we've always just struggled. Even Declan Rice, we struggled for over a year with Declan Rice to give him a new contract. We offered him new ones, but the money was just rubbish. And every time they agreed Declan Rice's contract demands, between the demands and them accepting it, Declan Rice had played another 15 games in the Premier League. So no, hang on a minute. That contract I wanted was for somebody that had played 10 games in the Premier League. I've now played 25 games. I'm now established in the first team. I want one that reflects that. So they'd say no to that, and then they'd go away and come back. I said, "I'll go on then. We'll accept it. Well, no tough now because I'm now in the first team every week. Here's my new contract demands." And by the time they agree to the contract demands, his stature has increased a lot, and it's going to happen with Lewis Orford. And like I said, they haven't even offered him a contract yet. There's not even been anything to accept or reject. It's just, I don't know what they're doing. I think the kid is hugely talented, and I'd be gutted if he left, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, particularly after this showing, I've no idea why. Someone who doesn't understand football can watch this game and say, yes, clearly he has. It's not just talent he has, and you can just see he has talent, but he's actually doing everything well. And even in the preseason, you could say that brings its own pressure and nerves or this kind of thing, wanting to take his chance. I mean, clearly he's taken it. Everything he's had to do, he's done really well. So yeah, it would be insanity if they didn't.
Hopefully it gets resolved, but at the minute he's just waiting. And I know that there's a bit of not at West Ham, but one or two people have frustrations because obviously it's playing on Orford's mind a bit because he doesn't know what's going on. So he's trying to improve, knuckle down at West Ham. And Kudus is going on an amazing run here. Ball in, tipped out by the goalkeeper. And someone said, Billy said Kudus has been quiet. I think he's done all right, actually. I've actually liked Kudus today. I think he's picking up some real pockets of space, a couple of dribbles. He has been fouled a couple of times still, Billy, where, in the Premier League, either you don't really make that foul or you get a booking for it. And it's a difficult one for him. But his original dribble across the face of goal before playing out wide, he had like 3 or 4 players around him, and then just then 3 or 4 players around him, he's just using his power, using his pace, decent enough ball in, unlucky.
Yeah, like you say, he can do those things in a Premier League game. The defenders can't even touch him.
Yeah,
it would definitely be a foul.
There's a couple of fouls he has had. It's yellow cards in a Premier League match. And it must be frustrating. I mean, Orford did one. Orford pulled someone down, and that would have been a booking in the Premier League game. But you get away with it in a friendly, don't you? Which is good. I think there's no need to be doing anything stupid in friendlies like this. And ball over the top for Kudus. And the right, he's in quite a bit of space here. Whoa, here we go. Kudu's on the move. Oh, it's been cleared out. Great run by Kudus. I thought he touched it way too heavy originally. He ended up, it was actually a beautiful sort of knock past the defender, and then he wiggled in between the two of them into the 18-yarder, fizzed the ball across, well defended at the near post, but Kudus was fantastic there. Great run. Again, looking for Kudus again, but it's been snuffed out by Redbridge, and he's looking good today, Kudus. He's looking good.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of Kudus, it's a funny one because you wouldn't really say he needs fitness. Like, yeah, okay, everyone's got to get their fitness up for, August the 17th to start the season. But he also, he had a heavy season, including going away for his international tournament. So you would say more rest, if anything, at this point, might be what he needs, rather than being like bouncing off of Dagenham and Redbridge players.
The Daggers just knocking about at the minute. They've not really had much of the ball in the second half. It's been a bit all West Ham. Say wave after wave of attack. They've been dealing with it quite well, but it's been a very comfortable game for us, to be honest with you. Despite all the changes, it remains quite easy for West Ham.
Yeah, I think that's almost like the funny reason why maybe we haven't got a second goal. Not that it matters in a friendly, but the pace of how we're playing, which is really good, and the way we're playing, the way we're knocking around 1-2 touch, it's already good. But we're basically just continuing that pace non-stop until we get, closer and closer to their goal, and then we just rush it into either over the line, or it might be a corner, or we just say, "Oh shit, we've got to the line now. I'm just going to cross it in," and then obviously it comes to nothing because there's no actual waiting at that point to like pick out the final pass or stop, turn, move it somewhere. The pace just continues until nothing happens at the end of it, which is fine at this game anyway.
More great player by Kudus there. Looked like it was possibly going to run out, but he retrieved it, skinned the player, slowed the play down a little bit, gave it to Irving, and we've decided to keep the ball rather than try and create something back out to Kudus at the minute. I think the one thing is a small criticism is that I would like to have seen the final ball and decision making be a bit better. And I know we're winning, and it's not the end. The result's not the most important thing in a friendly, but I would have liked to have seen us create a few more chances, especially with the talent out there. We've seen nice performances, but just a bit sharper in the final third, I think would have been good. But it's a tiny criticism and not one of too much importance. Dasman, we don't know about the games in the US of yet. I'd imagine there'll be a way to watch them at some point, but in regards to whether you've got to pay or you can watch them for free, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Trevor saying DAZN has a match against Wolves. Oh, wonderful. That's a I hope you can. We'll wait and see. I'm waiting to see what the club put out, and hopefully we can watch it. Bears is asking what happened to Gonzo because it looks like Ian Dowie from Timu. So you've had Chris Martin, you've had Bruce Willis, and now you've got Ian Dowie.
That's not bad. He came up with the word bounce back ability, so you've got to admire him for that alone.
So that's what you're taking from it, is it? That you...
Yeah, nothing to do with just a misshapen kind of Pablo Picasso face or questionable goal scoring ability. It's just the quoting that I'm going to take from that.
And for those who tuned in, it's currently 85 minutes on the clock, currently 1-0 West Ham. If you're new around here, please do subscribe, drop a like on the video as well, and you can have this one. Nick Dean is asking, how is Danny Ings? He's still playing, by the way, Dean. He's still on. He came on at half-time, and he's still got another 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, I say he started well. I don't really know. You might not know he's been on the pitch for the last 10 minutes or so, but he's just been doing Danny Ings things, really. Some link-up play. When the ball comes to him, he kind of takes a few unnecessary little touches. I mean, he was, you could say, instrumental in the only goal of the game because it came to him on the left wing. And he made the right choice to just keep possession for a few seconds and then feed it into the box. And that allowed Ward-Prowse to then roll it back to Irving's legendary left peg. But yeah, he still remains the same question of is it worth paying him so much money for a few Carabao appearances rather than just desperately asking someone to pay money for him?
Update from Ebbsfleet is finished. Ebbsfleet 2, West Ham under-21s 0. And Frankie said, same as last year, men v boys, which I guess it is. It's Ebbsfleet's main team against our under-21s. But 2-0 Ebbsfleet. That's full time. And come to an end, we've got 5 minutes to go here before full time at the Daggers. 1-0 West Ham. Ionix is saying Marshall was bullied a little out of the game. I agree with that one. Stephen thinks Earthy's having a good half. Came on at half time. He's done all right. I think he's got into it. William thinks Kudus is looking a bit tasty. Have to agree with that. I agree with DC. Marshall was a bit lightweight. I think he struggled today, Kyler Marshall. It's not his fault. He's just too small. It was easy enough for the Dagenham defenders to handle. He looked good when he dropped off and got involved, but there were moments few and far between. Good learning experience for him, but this is why I think he needed to go on loan. When we sent him on loan to West Brom, I couldn't believe it in January when we sent him to West Brom. I thought, what are we doing? He's never going to play. Unfortunately, I was proven right, but it was a stupid loan decision for us, and he should have went somewhere where he'd be playing the likes of these Dagenham defenders week in, week out, so he gets used to the physicality of it, and he learns how to play while avoiding a physical duel with his defenders. He's got no chance.
Yeah, he's 19 to answer the question, and apparently he's 65 kilograms. I read that, I didn't guess it, and he's 172 centimeters. So he's not short, but he weighs not much. And yeah, the first half, it wasn't that kind of first half. He wasn't even asked to do many things because the game was fast, a little bit scrappy in places, and we did have a lot of possession, but like I was saying, same as this half, the tempo remains the same. So in the last 5 or 10, we've maybe been a bit more composed, that when we get to their final third, we stop and bring it back and then try to either switch sides or keep some possession in the final third. But for the most of the game, we're just herring towards their goal, which usually is in a very good way. But I guess you can say, for the chances that we're trying to create, and if you imagine what's been happening on the training pitch, it looks as though like the emphasis is really on getting wide and then getting the ball in, which obviously he's only had a week or however long with the players. So Lopetegui's going to do it in stages. It seems to be that stage one has been get the shape, get them to know it's 1-2 touch at most. Don't just dwell on the ball for no reason. Split the centre backs, get the fullbacks up really high, and then try to get a player coming in to do a 1-2 or a triangle, something like that, and then get it wide, and then that's basically as far as they've got in the Lopetegui training manual. Once they've got it wide, then they just kind of just throw it in or do something with it. So I think we'll see a lot of progression in the final third over the upcoming pre-seasons.
Yeah, Kudus just attempted an overhead kick a couple of minutes ago, didn't make connection with it. Who was the one that crossed it? Andy Irving, of course it was.
Yeah, I did get called something like Mark Zuckerberg. I don't want to let that go. So any insulting lookalikes, just pass my way. Thank you. How many times has Ings been offside?
Yeah, he's been offside a few. So has Cresswell, Cornet, of course, Emerson. There's been a lot of offsides today, which might be something that we're going to have to put up with next season as we attempt these high balls over to the wide players. There's about 10 seconds left on the clock in normal time. Nick, I'll ask you to summarise the game and West Ham player of the match, please.
Oh, yeah. Easy first question, difficult second question. Yeah, sum up the game is that it's been pleasant to see they have been training on tactics and positions and play and what to do beyond just give it to Paqueta and see what happens. So it's been really pleasing that we can actually just see on our small device screens, everyone seems to be aware of what's going on as well. Like it does seem to be a whole team thing as well as good individual performances. There's a lot of whole team play whenever we are moving forward and spending most of our time near the final third. Everyone seems to be doing something, not just standing and watching while it's over the other side of the pitch, this kind of thing. We're pressing as a unit. So very positive. And between Potts and Orford is a very difficult one. I'm just going to say Potts. Probably just shades it, but Potts and Orford both very impressive, very, very composed. In whatever situation they get it, they just do something good with it. Whatever's happening around them, and in the fast-paced, scrappy game, that's really difficult. But they've been up for it.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm just writing notes from my review. Writing down a few things I wish to discuss in the review. I forgot to write down Irving bangers. Writing down I wouldn't have forgot that, to be fair, but I was writing down bullet points there. I think there's been quite a few good performances today. I think I've been most impressed, key phrase, by Mavropanos, actually. I think his position has been really good. I think his passing has been excellent from the defence. And I thought he was really sloppy on Monday. But tonight, I think he's been brilliant in the second half, actually. And a lot of our good play came from him playing out of the defence. Now, bear in mind, Kilman looked good as well, but he was next to Kurt Zouma. Not difficult to look good next to Zouma. Mavropanos has been next to a Gerd, who is fantastic at his long passing. But I actually think Mavropanos has been the better of the two centre-backs for the distribution. So I'm going to say I'm most impressed by Mavropanos this afternoon in the West Ham shirt. Surprisingly so. Just one last attack for West Ham here. We're picking up a couple of late corners with Scarles getting in behind their right-hand side, and we've got the ball out to him on a couple of occasions now, but the cross has been cut out. 20 seconds to go. We've got a corner. Alan Casper's going to take it. Agerd and Mavropanos make their way forward to join Earthy, Ings and Kudus in the box, with Andy Irving lurking on the edge of the box, just waiting for a half chance to make it 2-0. This should be the final action of the game as the referee checks his watch. Caswell swings it in. It's cleared out, and there goes the full-time whistle. It's all over at Dagenham. It finished 1-0 to West Ham United. Andy Irving with an absolute banger. So, well, Nick, that's the end of your second watch along. So I just want to say well done and thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. A pleasure. If you guys at home have enjoyed this stream, or even if you've joined a bit late and you fancy helping us out, please do drop a like on Sky Hammers Chat. I'm going to be live in approximately 2 minutes with a match review, a summary of the game, talking about a couple of players as well. So if you fancy joining me for that, you're more than welcome. Stick around and go back onto the Hammers Chat channel. I'll be live in about 2 minutes, and we will catch you in the next watch along. Nick, thank you very much, and I'll catch you in a bit.
Thank you.